and there's no kids and all sorts of stuff, or maybe your kids are going crazy, but they're like all eating sugar cereal and they're on the side now, so you can come and focus on yourself and your business for the next 12 months. I think that's what we're all doing, right? So I'm going to keep talking for a few minutes. Are we good to go on this side? Sweet. We're streaming everywhere. Okay. So I want to welcome you guys. Thank you so much for coming. In a few minutes, I'm going to actually be starting the Funnelology Masterclass. And just kind of give you guys a recap for those who have no idea what's happening right now. Is basically, I'm recording this course. This is a course we're going to be selling later on in the year. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to sell this later in the year, I'm probably going to procrastinate, and it's going to be like a month from now, and then 3 months from now, and then like it'll be forever before I actually create it. And I was like, if I do this live, it's going to force me to actually get it done right now, right away, at the very beginning of the year. And so that's kind of one of the reasons why we decided to go live. The second reason was because right now is the beginning of a new year for everybody. I thought, how cool would it be to go through some of these core fundamental funnel concepts and strategies and tactics so that everybody, as they're moving into this year, have the foundations and they really, really understand them at a deeper level. Some of you guys know I finished the Traffic Secrets book, which is launching early this year. It's this year now. It's going this year. Anyway, we're launching this year, and we got a new publisher who's doing it. We're making a nice hardbound book, and as I was talking to our new publisher, I was like, well, if we make this one hardbound, I want to make the other two hardbound. And so I went back, I bought the rights back from my old publisher, and then they told me if you want to add anything to the books, you got a little window of time to do that. So I kind of went crazy, and I rewrote the entire .com Secrets book, and I rewrote the entire Expert Secrets book in the last 3 months, which has been a crazy undertaking. For example, .com Secrets book started at 58,000 words. I cut 30,000 words, and then it ended up at 94,000 words. So it's kind of a whole new book, and the same thing happened with Expert Secrets. So I'm excited for you guys because hopefully when it goes live, you guys will get all the new books. We're gonna put it in a nice box set. It's gonna be really, really cool. So that's kind of happening. But as I was rewriting the .com Secrets book, especially, I was like, man, there's so many fundamental, foundational things that I want to make sure everybody understands. And I was like, well, I want to send everybody the new .com Secrets book, but it's not done yet. Like, what should we do? And so I thought, well, what if I did a training and we call it Funnelology, and it goes through all of the core concepts of the .com Secrets book. And so that's kind of what this is going to be. So that's the game plan for next little bit. Are we good on everything back there?
Yeah, we're trying to get a better, clear stream.
Okay, they're still working. Okay, we haven't officially started yet, so that's good. They're working on all the stuff. So that's the second thing. The third thing is that Funnel Hacking Live is like 27 or 28 days from now, and I know we've got 4,200, 4,000 plus people who already got their tickets, who are booked, who are coming to Funnel Hacking Live, and everyone's coming at different levels of experience. Some people are master funnel builders, some people are beginners, some people are at different spots in between, and so I thought that this training over the next 3 days would also be a really good, fun, exciting way for you guys to all get on the exact same playing field. So when you show up to Funnel Hacking Live, you're all ready to rock and roll because you got the core fundamental concepts and beliefs and understanding about funnels that you've mastered and you completely understand. And so that's what Funnelology is. And so we're going to be getting started here in a few minutes. They're still working on technical difficulties, and I'm going to jump up here. And it's a live course, and so it's a course we're going to be selling. So I'm going to jump up and I'll re-intro like, hi, this is Russell Brunson. And so that's kind of what's happening. I could use your guys' favor, though, because people are going to be jumping in this live stream. Some people jump in like 5 minutes from now. Some jump in like 3 hours from now and might be like, what's Russell doing? If you guys could help me out in the comments, and as people ask, ask that, be like, Russell's recording a live course called Funnelology. We have a chance to watch it live right now. That would be super helpful. Also, on top of that, we're not leaving these videos live online after the live stream's done because we're obviously selling them in the near future. So I'd make sure you block out time, be here, stay focused, and we're going to have a lot of fun together. How are things looking?
Facebook's great. YouTube's a little laggy. We're just trying to figure out why.
Okay. All right. So Facebook, you guys are great. YouTube, you're a little laggy. They're trying to figure out why. We're not quite sure yet. So anyway, that's the game plan we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be talking, I basically got 2 sessions today. The first session will probably go for around an hour-ish. Depends how excited I get. Sometimes I get excited and I might go for 2 or 3 or 4. I don't really know yet. Then we'll take a 30-minute break for me to take a break and eat lunch and get a drink and go to the bathroom, stuff like that, and then we'll come back. Ideally, we're going to be keeping the stream open the entire time, and so that's kind of the game plan, though. So probably an hour-ish from now, we'll take a break, and we'll come back, do another hour-long session or so after that. Anything we should wait on, or should I get started over there?
I'd get started. It's
Okay.
nothing permanent.
All right, that's the game plan then. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, and this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to jump up here, and I'm going to start this party off. And again, when I go up here on stage, I'm going to be reintroducing myself because it is an actual course, and so just kind of, if I act like I'm acting weird, that's why. So Anything else I should be aware of? You guys all ready to rock and roll? Okay, give me like 20 seconds to get this thing started. Hello, can you hear me now? Yes. Can you guys hear me now? We're back. Sorry, technical difficulties. So someday, one of you guys is going to create some service that makes it so we can stream everywhere without these amazing. Anyway, we'll figure that out. That's one of your guys' role. I'm building funnels. Well, you guys, someone's going to build that software for us. Okay. All right. So you guys all ready for this?
Yeah, we're good over
Okay.
here.
Hey everybody, my name is Russell Brunson. I want to welcome you to our Funnelology course. Today I'm going to be talking about the new art and science of funnel building. And we're going to be going over a lot of the core concepts about how to build a funnel, how to build an offer, how to have value ladders, ascension funnels, and then all the different types of funnels throughout the value ladder. What are the lead funnels? What are the unboxing funnels? What are the presentation funnels? What are the high ticket funnels? And it's going to be a lot of fun. Now my guess is that during this training, there's different people listening to this, and for some of you guys, some of these concepts are going to be review. Some of you guys, everything I say is going to be brand new, and you're going to be freaking out the first time around. I want to recommend that if you are someone who's advanced and you're looking at this, pay attention because there's a lot of new things I'm going to be introducing. There'll be similar frameworks you're familiar with, but there's going to be new stuff weaved in through every single presentation as well. And I think that everyone's going to get a ton of value, whether you've been doing this for a decade or a decade and a half like me, or if you're a brand new beginner who's trying to figure out how in the world can I grow my business online with sales funnels. For both of you guys, this course is called Funnelology is going to help you. I call it the new art and science of funnel building because the first time I ever taught this, I spent the first 10 years of my career online doing funnel building. I launched tons of different companies. We had weight loss companies, we had diabetic neuropathy companies, we had speed reading companies, we had baby sign language, potato gun DVDs, we had all sorts of products and services where I was building funnels and doing this. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I decided to start teaching people about this. And I wrote my very first book ever called .com Secrets, which was the first real introduction to sales funnels and how people can use funnels to grow companies. And about the same time we launched the book, we launched our software company, ClickFunnels, and hand in hand, that became the guidebook to help people actually use funnels inside their business. And for the last 5 years, it's been really fun watching people grow huge companies off of that foundation. Now, what's been fun is right now my third book is coming out really, really soon. And I had a really short window to have a chance to actually rewrite the .com Secrets book. And it's funny, the first edition was 58,000 words. I deleted 30,000 words, and then the book ended up being, I think, 94,000 words. So it's a lot bigger. So even though some of the concepts in the book and some of the concepts you may have heard before, there's a lot of new stuff weaved into it that I think you guys are going to love and you're going to get obsessed about. If you geek out like me on funnels, you're going to love everything we're going to talk about today. So that's what this new presentation is really based on, a lot of the core methodologies they're taught in the new .com Secrets book. And it should give you guys a really good foundation to prepare yourself for whatever business you're in, okay? So what I recommend is while you're going through this training course is sit back, take out a pad of paper, take out some notes, and as you're learning the concepts, I want you to take notes on it, but at the same time, start thinking about it in the lens of your business. Like, how would this work in my business? How would this piece work? And start thinking about those things because you start visualizing and seeing how this would fit in your business. the more you visualize it, the more it becomes real to you, and the more likely you are to actually use that as a tool. I don't know about you, but I my entire career, I struggled in school. I think a lot of times it was because I was sitting there, I listened to the teacher talking and telling me stories, and I'd be trying to pay attention, I'd take notes, but I'm like, I have no context of how this is valuable in my life. And so because of that, we go right in one ear and right out the other one just as fast, right? And so for me, education got exciting when I had something to actually apply it to. As soon as I had a business and I learned something, I'm like, that's interesting. And I tried it and it worked. All of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I want to learn everything I can. And I started reading books and buying courses and going to seminars and events and everything I could do to dump in ideas into this side of my brain so I could test them over here. And the ones that worked and the ones that stuck, we started using over and over and over again. And through that process, I was able to build companies that have done hundreds of millions of dollars in sales. And so my goal for you is that I don't want this stuff just to bounce off, go in one ear and out the other one. I want it to be meaningful to you. I want you to be able to use it. So as I'm telling you about, think about how can I apply that to the business that I have or the idea I have, or maybe I'm a consultant for somebody else's business. How would I apply these things to help grow their company? And if you do that, these things will mean a lot more to you and remember them better, and hopefully they'll serve you at a much higher level. Okay? So I'm going to jump right in. And again, there's going to be a lot of foundational stuff today. Be going over the secret formula and value ladders today. And then tomorrow we're going to go deeper into each of the different phases of the value ladder. What are the funnels at the bottom of the funnel of the value ladder? What are the funnels in the second tier and the third tier and the fourth tier of the value ladder? And I'm going to be going very, very deep into detail of what the funnels are, what they look like, what does page 1 look like, and page 2 and page 3. So we'll get to that tomorrow, but today I really want you guys to understand the foundational stuff. Because if you don't have these foundations, it's really hard to build a funnel. When you do have them, building funnels is the easiest part of the entire equation. So this first session, I call this the secret formula, okay? And the secret formula is a really simple process that when I wrote the .com Secrets book initially, it kind of mapped out this entire funnel building process in like a couple really, really quick images, okay? And so if you look at how it works, the first part of the secret formula is who. Who is the person you actually want to serve? I'm going to dive deeper into this. But who is the person you want to serve? That's number one, okay? The second question is, where are those people? Okay, if I know I want to serve this type of person, where are they already congregating? So here's a lake, and there's some fish. Okay, so that's the second thing. It's like, where are my people? Okay? Then the third part of the value ladder is, now that I know who they are, I know where they are, what is the bait that I'm going to use? There's a fishing pole to go and capture these fish. What's the bait I'm going to use? Okay? And then the last step here is, after I've caught this person, I've caught this bait, I brought him in, then where am I taking him? This is the little mountain here. Where is the summit that I'm trying to take them to? What's the result I'm trying to get for my dream customer? Okay? And one of the big updates that we made to the .com Secrets book, as you'll see when you guys have a chance to read it in the near future, is at this step we kind of identify like what is actually bait. And so if you look at what bait is inside of bait, it's kind of a 3-step process we're going to go through today as well. It's hook, and then story, and then offer. And this kind of encompasses what your bait is. Your bait is your hook, your story, and your offer. Okay? So that's kind of what the secret formula is. It's a very simple process, but it really encompasses all of business. Who do I want to serve? Where are those people at? What can I use to get them? And then after I get them, how can I actually serve them? Okay, and that's what the secret formula looks like. So if you look here on my slides, this is kind of a doodle of that. So who, where, bait, and result. Now I want to go a little bit deeper into each of these aspects because I'm sure most of you guys just heard that. You're like, okay, cool, I got it. It's like, no, like each of these things, they could and should do an entire like college semester on each of these different aspects because they're so vitally important to what you're doing. Okay, so the first one I go to is who. Who is your dream customer? Who is that person that you want to serve? Okay, now I always tell people this, that if you're not careful, what most entrepreneurs do is they get excited about a product, they create a product, they start selling it, and they never think about who it is they actually want to serve. They're just thinking about this idea they have in this product and want to launch it. Okay, and I got started my entrepreneur journey. That's exactly what I did. I got excited about a product, I created it, I built it, I started selling it, and I didn't think once about who I wanted to sell it to. I just started selling it, and some people started buying it, I got excited, more people bought it, and one day, like 3 years down the road, I woke up, and I remember laying in bed, sitting there, and I was so miserable. I was making really good money. I had all the things you would think were like what gives you a perfect lifestyle, and I'm laying there, and I was like, I wish that I had a boss so that he would fire me, and I wouldn't have to go in the office today. And I started sitting there thinking, like, why do I feel this way? And I realized the reason why is because I created some really good products that attracted the wrong who's, the wrong people into my world. And I wasn't obsessed with my customer. I didn't like him. I didn't even want to see him. I always thought about this. I said, if I was to go on a cruise or go hang out with somebody, or go to an event surrounded by my dream customers, would I be like, hey guys, let's go hang out? Or would I be like, oh man, I gotta go hide? And I realized like I wanted to hide. I didn't love the people I was serving. And because of that, I was miserable. And it wasn't until I hit rock bottom, my business was collapsing and failing, I was miserable, that I sat back. And I remember I had a friend, Eben Pagan, some of you guys know Eben. He had a training out there talking about your dream customer avatar. And I remember hearing that, and I was like, I never thought about it. I create a product and I sell it. That's what entrepreneurs do. And he was like, no. You got to figure out who is it you actually want to serve. Who is your dream customer avatar? That's where you start. And he said, and he gave the suggestion. He said, go to Google Images and actually find images of the people who your dream avatar could be. And I thought, at first I remember thinking that was like the cheesiest thing in the world. But I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. So I went to Google Images and I said, okay, who's my dream customer? What do they look like? And I went and I first started, I wanted to find two avatars. I wanted to find a male avatar and a female avatar. So I went there and I went to Google Images. I typed in the name. So I said, okay, I'm going to name my avatar. I'm going to call her Julie. And I said, okay, no, what do I know about Julie? Well, Julie, if she's my dream customer, she's successful, she's driven. So she has a message she wants to share with the world. She values her own personal growth over money. She already has her business to 6 figures a year. She just wants to grow it to the next level. I typed those things in, and all of a sudden all these faces popped into Google Images. I'm scrolling through, and eventually I found this face right here. Now, I don't know who she actually is, but this is my Julie. This is Julie who popped out of Google Images for me. I was like, oh my gosh, she looks like someone I want to hang out with. I was going to an event, I'd be like, hey Julie, what's up? We should hang out and be friends. So I took a picture of this off Google Images, and I put it in a frame, and I had it on my wall. I said, this is Julie. This is my dream customer that I want to serve. Okay, and that was my first person. The next person I said is, well, who's my male, the male counterpart? Like, who would I want to serve on the male side? And I remember I said, okay, I'm going to call this guy Mike. And so I called him Mike, typed in Google, I typed in a bunch of things. I typed in former athlete, has changed someone's life in a small way and wants to share it with more. He values growth over money. He already has God's business 5 figures a year, but wants to grow it to 6 and 7 and beyond. Typed all that stuff into Google Images, and boom, this picture popped out of Mike. And I was like, Mike looks awesome. I would totally go hang out with this guy. We'd have so much fun. We talk about marketing and business and sports, and I would love to hang out with Mike. So I took his picture, I printed it out, put it on my wall, and I had my Mike and my Julie. Now, I tell you this story because I was kind of almost doing it initially as a joke. So I'm like, this is not like something that's actually going to work, right? But I did it, put them on my wall, and I started thinking about it. When I was trying to create different products, I look at them, I'm like, is this something that Mike and Julie would want? Is this something that my dream customer would actually want? Okay, if I said this in an ad, would that get them to like come towards me, or would that repel and make them push away from me? I started thinking about these things, and it shifted my mindset on so many things, from how we created products to the different ads we made and all sorts of things like that. Now, kind of a funny backstory. Some of you guys know I've ran an Inner Circle mastermind program for the last 6 or 7 years. And this year I actually put it on pause for a little while. My kids are going to be starting high school next year and a bunch of other things. And I just wanted, and not so much wanted, but I needed and wanted. I needed both. But I needed to block out time because I want to spend more time with my kids. And so something had to go. And I had this amazing mastermind program that's making me tons of money. And I went to all my people and I paused it. And I said, hey, I'm going to pause it for a couple of years just so I can get my kids through high school and all those kind of things. And it was a sad, emotional thing. This is actually my Inner Circle room where I meet with my Inner Circle members a couple times a year. And it was really sad. And I remember as I was sitting out there and I was talking to them the last meeting, and I looked out and they were all there. And I told them about this story. I said, you know what's crazy? I said, 5 or 6 years ago, I built out this customer avatar. And I started, I went through and I pulled up Julie. I started talking about like who Julie was. And I said, who here in this room is a Julie? And literally all the women's hands raised up. They're like, that's me. And then sitting right there was Julie Stoyan. And Julie's like, I've had so many people who read the .com Secrets book and asked if this Julie was me. Because it's like fits her to a T. And I was like, I said, because I put that out 5 years ago, all the decisions and choices I made led to a room full of Julies. And then I talked about the mic, and I explained the mic person. I said, who here is a mic? And all the men raised their hand. I was like, isn't it fascinating? This little tweak that I made 5 or 6 years ago just to define who do I want to serve, and then figuring out the products and services that they would want, as opposed to me being like, this would make me money, this would be a good thing I could sell. I shifted it to focus on them first, and because of that little choice, that little hinge, swung this huge door that now 5 or 6 years later I had a mastermind with over 100 people in it, paying $50,000 a year to be part of it, and it was all filled with my dream customers. Okay, people I would want to hang out with anyway. And so that's the power. So that's the very first step is who. Becoming super clear on who it is you want to serve. Okay, if you're listening to me right now and you're like, I hate my customers, it's probably because you did what I did. Okay, it's okay to change, especially now at the beginning of a year. Now is the best time in the world to change. In fact, I made this decision. It was right after New Year's, and there was a video that Tony Robbins and his wife Sage put out. They were in Fiji, and I remember that they're sitting there talking, and Tony Robbins said, he said we can change anytime we want all year long. A lot of people during New Year's, they give themselves permission to actually change. And he says, I challenge you that if you're in a relationship you don't like, you should change it. He said, if you're in a business you don't like, you should change it. If you're in a whatever, and you name 4 or 5, if you're in a body you're not happy with, you should change it. And I remember sitting there, and this is when I made this decision of like, I'm going to change my customers because Tony gave me permission. So I want to give you guys permission. Just because you've gone a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down a business does not mean you can't shift it. You can't change it. I did. And on the other side of that, so much more happiness and fulfillment, it'll be worth it to you. Okay, so that's number one, is who is your dream customer? Okay, second question, I was like, where are these people actually congregating? Okay, it becomes really easy when you realize like exactly who this person is. You know, okay, this is what the person is, what they do, what they like. And the better you get to know who this person is, the better you're going to be at figuring out where are they actually congregating. Okay, like where do they spend their time? I made a list last night of just some things to start thinking about where, okay? What are the top websites your dream customers already go to every single day? Okay, what forums or message boards do they participate in? What are the Facebook groups they participate in? Who are the influencers they follow on Facebook and on Instagram? What podcasts they listen to? What are the email newsletters they're subscribed to? What blogs do they read? What channels they follow on YouTube? What keywords are they searching for on Google to find information? Okay, this is where your dream customers are congregating, where they're at. Okay, so your job as a marketer is to figure out, I got to find out where these people are. Okay, it's funny, I just wrote this book, Traffic Secrets, and whenever I talk to people about traffic, they think it's this magic mystery of like, okay, well, how do I do it? Like, what are the keywords? What are the things? And they're always like worried about all the algorithms. I'm like, look, traffic is really simple when you think about it. It's just figuring out who your dream customer is and figuring out where they're congregating. Okay, one of my favorite stories, I'm sure most of you guys have heard me tell this story before, but when I was in high school and college, I was a wrestler. I wrestled in Utah growing up. I was a state champ there. Wrestled a year at Brigham Young University, and they cut their wrestling program, so I came to Boise State, and I had my last 4 years here at Boise State. And I remember, as much as I love my people, my wrestlers, we're not always the smartest group in any bunch. And because most of us were struggling to make grades, they made it mandatory for every single wrestler, you had to go to study hall every single night. So every single night, practice would get done, we'd all go home, we'd eat, and then we'd drive over to study hall, and all the wrestlers would be in study hall because we were all struggling in school. And so we're sitting there doing homework, and I remember every single day doing this, and I remember it was probably 2 or 3 months into my sophomore year, and I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to do my homework, and then I'm like thinking about wrestling, thinking about my match coming up, and thinking about other things, and there was a website that me and all of the wrestlers always congregated at. And it was themat.com. Mat has kind of shrunk in the last few years, and for my wrestlers, there's bigger ones out there that are better, but themat.com was the place when I was in college. And so I remember I'd go to themat.com, and I get sucked into like the message boards and like talking about this wrestler versus this wrestler and thing after thing, and like that was my place. Those were my people, right? We hung out, we had a good time, and that's where we spent all of our time is all congregating here in this one spot. Okay, and I remember kind of a funny story one day as I was in there, I had to go to the bathroom. I stood up, I started walking out, and I was looking over. I started looking at the other wrestlers, and I noticed that like our 133 pounder was on themat.com, our heavyweight was on themat.com, our 197 pounder. I was looking, I'm like, oh my gosh, all of the wrestlers in Boise in study hall are literally in this one spot right now talking about wrestling. I was thinking, I'm sure it's not just Boise State. I bet you every single college campus in the country, the wrestlers are in study hall right now, and we're all on the exact same website. And this is not just happening in college, it's happening in high school, it's happening for people that have already graduated, it's happening in other countries. Like the entire world, everyone who cares about wrestling is all congregating in this one spot. So my question for you is, if you're selling a wrestling product, where do you go to throw your bait in? Right? You just find out where are the wrestlers congregating, and you throw out your bait right there. I remember when I was in the mat.com, I would see there'd be ads on the side for the Granby System Wrestling thing and Ken Chirtow's wrestling camps and the Sue Plays Dummies. Like all the ads were all in there all the time, right? They're all people throwing their hooks in, trying to grab people out of this pond. Okay, so same thing's true for you. As soon as you get a clear picture of who this person is, then you can figure out where they're congregating. Okay, if you don't know where this is at, it means you got to start getting deeper into your dream customer. Okay, you got to start figuring out what podcasts they listen to. Okay, if you're not listening to the same podcast they are, you're going to struggle to speak to them because you're not going to know the language they're already listening to. You're not going to hear what other people are saying to them. Okay, so you got to find out what are the podcasts my dream customers listen to and you should be listening. What are the Facebook groups that are on? You need to get inside those groups and be part of them and participate. Okay, you got to become part of these communities, and that's going to help you understand how to come in here and throw your bait in. Okay, all right. So that takes us now to number 3. So who's your dream customer? Where are they congregating? Now, what is the bait? The bait we're going to throw in. Now we found this congregation. We got to throw something in here to try to capture them, try to grab them, right? And so in the past, I always said just throw out bait. But in the new version of the .com Secrets book, I talk about how bait is actually this concept called hook, story, offer, right? We have this thing, we throw our bait in and we have a hook, okay? So if you think about it, they're in this forum, they're in this community, and visualize this. Right, here's this person. This is your dream customer. They're hanging out in this community, and they're on their. This is the phone. They're on their phone, and they're seeing all these. All day they're sitting there scrolling. They're reading things. They're commenting. They're seeing stuff, and you're coming here, and you're throwing this hook in to try to grab their attention just for a second. Okay, so the first part of the process, you grab the hook to grab them. We're gonna go deeper into this. You grab their hook, okay, and if you do it right, you get attention just for a second. Then you have this little window of opportunity now that you've got their attention. You have this window where you have a chance to tell them a story. And the goal of the story is to build a relationship and connection with you, okay? And then to increase the perceived value of whatever it is you're about to sell to them. Okay, so let me say it again. So the goal, the hook grabs their attention just long enough you can tell them a story. The story builds a connection with you and the person, okay? And then gives you the ability to increase the perceived value of the thing you're going to offer them, and then you make them an offer. Okay, so it's hook. You got hook, story, offer. This is the framework. I'm going to go deeper into this here in a second. We hook them, tell them a story, and we make them an offer. Okay? And that's how you get somebody from this community to be able to get their attention so you can actually start serving them. Okay? Now, it's interesting. I'm going to show you guys this right here. So this was the first bait, the first thing that we put out there that was specifically to grab my dream customer. Okay, this was my hook to grab Mike and a Julie. Now, prior to this, just so you guys know, before I had this 108 split test book, most of the things I was selling, like how to get rich quick on the internet, how to make money on eBay, how to make money doing that, like there are all these things that were like they were attracting the wrong kind of person. It wasn't attracting entrepreneurs, it attracted them who wanted to get rich quick, right? Which those are the customers I didn't like, that I didn't want to spend time with. Okay, so I wrote this book, 108 split test winners. And it was interesting. I took my existing customer list and I promoted it. I'm like, hey, I wrote this new book, 108 split test winners. And of my, 150, 200,000 subscribers I had at the time, the amount of people that bought this were maybe a dozen. Okay? So this bait I put out there, what did it do? I put this bait out here, and the wrong customers came and looked at it and said, 108 split test, what does that even mean? Okay? And it repelled them. They're like, that sounds like a lot of work. So it repelled them and they went away. Okay? But the right people, my dream customers said, 108 split tests, like, oh my gosh, if they're an entrepreneur, like these are Russell split tests, simple tweaks you can make to your funnel, like that bait attracted my dream customer. The Mikes and the Julies of the communities that we were putting this offer out, they heard it and they're like, oh my gosh, like that's the thing I need, that's what I need to do. And they raised their hand, they came and they bought it. Okay, and what happened was interesting is that my huge list of all these business opportunity seekers who wanted to get rich quick on the internet, they stopped responding to my offers. Okay, and eventually they all kind of faded away and they disappeared. And all of a sudden this new breed of entrepreneurs, the people that wanted to work hard, that believed in growth, that wanted to figure out the next level, those people saw this hook and it attracted them. They said, that's amazing. They came, they bought the hook. Okay, they saw me make an offer, tell them a story. Like, let me tell you a story about this book. I told them the story of the book. Like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I must buy it. I need this thing. I made them an offer, go buy the book, and boom, it happened. Hook, story, offer. I started grabbing my dream customers out of this place right here and started coming into my world. And that literally is what shifted my whole future. Everything since then shifted because of that. Because I knew exactly who my customers were. I knew where they were at, and I created the bait that would attract the dream customers and repel the people I didn't want to work with. Does that make sense? Okay, so bait's the next thing here. Okay, so the question for you to start asking yourself is like, what's the bait you can create to attract your dream customer? Okay? And the sexier the bait, the more likely is someone's going to come to you, okay? Like if I go back one, it says change your bait, change your customer. Okay, if you don't like the customers coming in, change your bait. Change your bait. Keep changing until it's like, oh, these are my people. These are the people I want to actually spend time with, okay? Change your bait, change your customer. Okay, so start thinking through what's the bait you could create, okay, that you can go grab your dream people. Okay, now I want to go deeper here. I want to take this step in the framework here with bait. I want to zoom into this part right here. I want to go deeper on hook, story, offer, because this is one of the core frameworks that I talk about not only in the .com Secrets book, but in the New Expert Secrets and the Traffic Secrets book. We go deep into this because it really is the core fundamental framework of almost everything we're doing here in funnels, is understanding that. So I'm going to go a little deeper here. So we're going to go into it deep, okay? So number one, we're going to go through hook, the story, and the offer. Okay, I kind of told you this before. The goal of the hook is to grab their attention. The story is to build a relationship with you and then increase the perceived value of the thing you're about to offer them. And then the offer is actually the offer. Now, what's interesting is if you're struggling to make money online, if something isn't working in one of your funnels, it's always either the hook, the story, or the offer. Okay, at last year's Funnel Hacking Live, I talked about this on stage. I told people over and over, I said, if you were to hire me and pay me $100,000 for a one-day consult, and you came in front of me, and you said, nothing's working, and my funnel's not working, what's wrong? I would look at it, I would say, I'd look at your ads, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, and I'd say, okay, let me look at your ads. It's either your hook, your story, your offer. So let's figure out which one it is. And then I go to your landing page, okay, it's either your hook, your story, your offer. Let's figure out which one it is. And we go to the next page, it's either your hook, your story, your offer. And that would be it. And you'd be like, Russell, I thought you were this amazing consultant. I'm like, yeah, I only got 3 things I look at. Your hook, your story, your offer. Like this is the core fundamental principle of all of marketing, okay? So if you miss this, you're missing everything. So that's why it's so important. I keep drilling in people's heads over and over and over again. I want to re-drill it into your head. That's why I go so deep into it in all 3 of the books because it really is the piece that if you can master this, it gets really easy. In fact, Stacy Martino, I'm going to talk about Stacy and Paul here in a little bit. Some of my favorite students here, they've been in my inner circle for the last couple of years, and they're amazing. But after Stacy heard me say that at Funnel Hacking Live, she said she went back home, and they were kind of stuck on one part of the business, and she said, okay, well, I heard Russell say that if I was hired for consulting, it'd be my hook, my story, my offer. Let me go figure things out. So she looked at her pages and tweaked her hooks, tweaked her stories, tweaked her offers, and went through that entire funnel and watched their company dramatically increase just by applying this one thing. So that's why this is so vitally important for you guys to understand. Hook, story, offer, okay? All right, so even though we go hook, story, offer, I'm going to start explaining the offer part first, then we're going to move to story, and then we'll end with hooks, okay? So I'm going to kind of go backwards on this because that's just the best way to teach it, okay? All right, so we're going to start with the offer. So the offer, this is really understanding how to create a really good offer is what makes a funnel work, okay? A lot of people know about products. I'm going to create a product. I'm going to create this really cool thing you can click on to advanced slides. This is the product, right? An offer is different. What is an offer? An offer is bundling together a whole bunch of things to do a couple things. Number 1 is increase the perceived value of it. Okay, number 2 is make it unique so it's not a commodity, so something specific to you. It's something that's different, that's your own. And it's just one of the most powerful things you can do. Okay, so if you've been following me for any amount of time, you notice I make a lot of offers. My offers usually look like this. I always have an offer slide attached which says, okay, when you buy this thing from me, you're going to get the clicker, but you're also going to get this and this and this and this. And the total value of this entire offer is blank, and I'm going to discount it to this. Okay, that's what an offer slide is. Okay, so the offer is the core fundamental part of every single funnel. Okay, and again, there's an offer on why should someone click on your ad? Well, if you click on my ad, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you a free PDF. I'm going to give you a video. There's an offer on your landing page. Like if you give me your email address, I'm going to give you this thing. Okay, there's an offer on your sales page. If you give me money, I'm going to give you this thing. Like they're all offers. Okay, so I want to put in perspective how valuable and how important an offer is. Okay, this is Claude Hopkins. He is known by many of people in the industry as the father of modern advertising. And he lived in the early 1900s, and his title, he was what they called a scheme man, okay? And I think this should become like a cool thing. We should call our funnel builders all scheme men, but it's kind of a negative connotation nowadays. But in the early 1900s, they called them scheme men, and the scheme men were responsible for coming up with the most important piece of the advertising puzzle, and that was figuring out the offer, okay? So scheme men were the offer. Now, I want you to put this in perspective. In 1907, when Claude Hopkins was doing this, they were paying him $52,000 a year. You may be like, oh, that's pretty good money. $52,000 a year is not too bad to sit there and make up offers. But in 1907, if you did the calculations on what that actually is worth today, that is $1.396 million in today's dollars. So he was paid almost $1.4 million a year to figure out offers for companies. That's it. That was his role. Let me figure out the offer you're going to sell. Okay, that's how valuable a piece this is, and most of us don't even think about it. We're like, oh, I'm going to sell a course. Oh, I'm going to sell a coaching pro. I'm a life coach. I'm going to sell that. Oh, I found these things on Alibaba. I'm going to sell that. We just sell the product. You're missing it. The product's not the thing. Okay, if you want to compete against people selling products, you create offers. Okay, the offer will increase the perceived value of whatever it is you're selling, and it makes you unique. Okay, there's a difference between a product and a commodity. Okay, a product and offer. A product is a commodity, right? If I find something on Alibaba and I go and I sell it, okay, there's 10 or 1,000 or 100,000 other people selling that thing. Okay, it's a commodity. So when you have something that's a commodity, the problem is the only way to win with a commodity is you got to become the cheapest person, right? So somebody is selling iPhones for $500 on the website, and I'm selling an iPhone. We both have an iPhone. The only way for me to beat them is to sell for a little bit less. So he sells $500, I'll sell mine for $400. Okay, and then the next person comes along like, well, the only way to beat that is to go cheaper, so I'm gonna go for 300, and then 200. And the only way to win when you're a commodity is price. Okay, which price is like the stupidest thing to compete on. It's the worst. Okay, my very first mentor, Dan Kennedy, told me, he said, if you can't be the lowest price leader in town, there's no strategic advantage of being the second lowest price leader. Because if you can't be Walmart and be the cheapest, you might as well be the most expensive. Because there is a strategic advantage of being the most expensive. Okay, so for a lot of us, we're like, okay, I gotta be cheaper than the last person. I gotta be cheaper. And we're trying to figure out ways to make ourselves cheaper. Okay, instead of doing that, there's another way to make yourself feel cheaper. Okay, you come back here. There's two ways. Number one is to decrease the price. That's one way to make you have the cheapest product in town. But the other way is to increase the value. Okay, when you increase the value, it makes you feel like the cheapest, right? So if I'm selling a phone, I'm like, hey, if you buy a phone. If it's a product, here's my phone, $500. This guy sells it at $400, $300, $200. That's one way to become the cheapest product. The second way is, here's the phone at $500. If you buy it from me, this phone is going to cost $2,000, but you get 3 private one-on-one consults with me through your phone. Oh my gosh, that seems cheap because usually you charge $5,000 an hour for consulting. That seems really, really cheap now. But I'm selling it for 4 times as much as this phone. Yeah, but it seems cheap now because why? Because the perceived value is increased because I turned it into an actual offer. Does that make sense? So that's when you guys start understanding, like, because the worst business to be in is one where you're trying to compete on price. The best business is one where you're increasing the value of the offer and it becomes better and better and more sexy, okay? So that's what I'm trying to do is figure out how to create an offer that increases the perceived value of the thing that we're trying to sell. Okay, and this is one of the core secrets of funnel building is understanding offer, understanding that we've got to increase the value of this offer because that is the key, okay? So the offer increases the value. So I'm going to give you guys a couple examples of this in the real world, so hopefully it'll make more sense, okay? So for example, I've been now married for almost 18 years, so I haven't dated in I date my wife, but it's hard for me to remember exactly how it works, but we watch cheesy shows like The Bachelor and Bachelorette. I see my friends dating, my kids are like 3 or 4 years away from dating, and it makes me really, really nervous. But as I was thinking about this, I started thinking about, how did I get my wife to want to marry me? How did I get her to want to go on a date with me back in the day? Okay, I want to put this in perspective. My wife is 5.5 years older than me. She's way better looking than me. Like, she has all the things, and I'm like this little dorky kid, okay? When I moved to Boise, Idaho, I was... To put it in perspective, I moved to this little apartment with a whole bunch of other wrestlers. I had a shaved head. I had glasses on. I had no future. I just wanted to wrestle. I was kind of weird. I was socially didn't dare talk to girls. Like, it was like all these things, right? And all my other roommates were there, and a couple of them all had a crush on this girl. And she was the older girl, and one of the other apartments was close to us. And so we'd go over to her house and hang out, right? And so I looked at it, and I was watching these guys, and they'd come over, and they'd try to be like, how cool they were. Hey, do you want to go on a date? Hey, do you want to go on a date? And I watched her. She turned tons of, like, bunch of them, like, no, I'm not going to go on a date. No, I'm not going to go on a date. No, I'm not going to go on a date. I'm like, man, she keeps telling these people, no, like, the offer's not very good, right? Everyone's offer's like, want to go on a date with me? And when you do that, all they have to look is at yourself. Like, do I want to go on a date with you? Like yes or no, right? And some people are like stunning good looking, so your offer increases because the value of your looks, but I wasn't that way, right? I was a shaved head wrestler with glasses on, and so like that was my thing. My value wasn't huge on looks, and so I was coming there, I'm like, how do I increase the value of this package? I'm like, okay, what do I got? So when I asked her on a date, it wasn't just like, hey, do you want to go on a date with me? She's like, other guys are way better looking than you. I was like, okay, I got to make this an offer. Okay, so I was like, okay, if you want to date with me, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do this, and then we're going to go on this, and we're going to experience this, and we're going to eat here and do this, and then afterwards we're going to go do this thing right here, and we're going to meet these people here, and like I created an experience, right? And then I asked her on a date, and she's like, oh my gosh, that offer, that experience, that whole thing sounds amazing, and you're in there, and that sounds great too. Like, let's go and do this thing, right? But I created an offer, asked her on a date, she said yes, and now we're married 5 kids later, and it's amazing. Okay, so if you're struggling in dating, this is my only dating advice I will ever give anybody, is how do you increase your offer? Okay, if it's just you may be in trouble, especially if you're not very good looking, right? So I got to figure out, how do I increase the offer of this? Okay, what else do I have to offer my future spouse, this person I want to date, right? So there's my dating advice, okay? But you see how it works? I mean, increasing the value of yourself as the offer, okay? As I was teaching, we did an event earlier this year called the Unlock the Secrets event for our 2 Common Club coaching members. And it was kind of a fun event, and I decided to invite all of the kids to come to it as well. So the parents came and the kids came as well. And so I'm explaining this concept of increasing an offer to the audience. I think all the parents were just like, wait a minute, I got a question. Wait a minute. And like the parents are always a little bit slower than the kids. Kids pick up stuff really fast. And I was sitting out in the audience, I was looking out, and I started asking the kids. I could tell the parents were a little perplexed. I said, okay, I want to get some kids out. So I called on some kids, and this right here on the left hand, this image, this is Ryan Lee, he's one of my Inner Circle members. And on the right hand here is his daughter, Kiana. And Kiana, I don't know how, she's probably 10, maybe 12 years old, and she runs a babysitting business. And so I said, I asked all the kids, like, for all the kids, how would you increase the offer of your, whatever business is you're working on? And she's raises her hand, so I throw her the little catch box, and she grabs it. She says, well, I'm a babysitter, and I figure all my friends are also babysitting. We're all charging $5 an hour. What if I increase my offer by doing this? And she's like, what if I told them that after I'm going to feed your kids healthy food, not like pizza? And then after the thing's done, I'm going to actually wash the dishes. And I'm going to make sure the kids are in bed at 9 o'clock. And I'm going to play games with the kids when we go out. And then I'm going to do, and she named about 4 or 5 different things that she could do. And I looked at her, I was like, oh my gosh, like, do you want to watch my kids? Like, my kids were at the event. I'm like, can you watch them tonight? Like, that offer was amazing. And you look at, like, there's 10 babysitters, and all of them are like, I'll babysit your kid, I'll babysit your kid, I'll babysit your kid, I'll babysit your kid. And when I do that, I'm also going to do this and this and this and this. And like, who are you going to give your money to? Okay, she could double, triple, quadruple her prices, and she still seems the cheapest because not only did she watch my kids and make sure they didn't die, she also cleaned up the house, fed them healthy food, had activities with them, played with them, wasn't texting on her phone all night long, all those kind of things as well. Okay, she's CPA certified, all those things like she created an offer where she could have double, triple, quadruple her price, and she still would have seemed the cheapest. Okay, and she had a line of people out the door waiting for them to babysit because she created an actual offer instead of just selling a product. Okay, do you guys get how this works? So as you're sitting there in your marketplace, you're like, I've got this course, I've got this physical product, I've got this training program, this coaching program, this event, like whatever the thing is that you're trying to do, you got to step back and figure out, okay, I'm competing with all these other people. How do I make my offer better? What do I have that can be better than what everybody else is doing? I got to one-up everybody else. I got to make my offer better, okay, so that the perceived value of it seems so much higher. That way it seems cheaper. And that way I don't have to lower my price. In fact, I can increase my price and it won't even matter, okay? It's called price elasticity. So if you look at any offer I create, we spend so much time. Like what we literally do is I'll come out like, this is an example. This is the one funnel way offer. When we create this offer, it was literally me and my team in front of a whiteboard. I'm like, hey, let's make an amazing offer. Like, what should we give people? And we had a big whiteboard and it said like potential products on the top. We started listing, well, what if we gave them this? What if we gave them this? Oh, remember that training you did over here? We can give them that. And like, oh, what if we gave them this worksheet here? And what if we had them fly to your house and you could like just build their funnel for them? What if we did this? And what if we gave them ClickFunnels again? Like, we just mapped out as many different things as possible. So we had a whole whiteboard of all the potential things that we possibly do when we sold one funnel away, right? But we didn't give them everything, but like we brainstormed like that, and I got all these amazing ideas out, and then we came back to our stack slide, and we said, okay, what should we actually give them? We said, okay, well, the first thing we're going to give them, we're going to give them 30 days of video missions from Russell. What's the value of that? And 30 days of coaching from Steven and from Julie. And then we're going to one from way customized 30-day kit. Okay, and then we're going to send them a physical book in the mail, and then a physical MP3 player, then this hardcover book, and then access to interviews, and we start building out this thing, and all of a sudden this insane offer, okay, that most other my competitors would sell for at least $1,000 or more. And they're like, let's sell it for this, right? Okay, and that's how we create an amazing offer. Okay, and we do this every single time. If you ever notice anything you buy from me, there's always gonna be a stack slide like this. There never will not be a stack slide like this. Okay, the first time I do an offer without a stack slide, you guys should just fire me because it means I failed at my job. I'm a horrible scheme man. I'm not worth the $1.3 million a year that I charge to be a scheme man. Okay, like this is the key. You got to figure out what is the offer, okay? And if something's not selling, again, I told you it's always either the hook, the story, or the offer. So if something's not working, look at it and be like, maybe my offer sucks. Maybe nobody wants this. What else could we include instead? What if I got rid of this and plugged this in instead? What if I got rid of this and plugged this in instead? What if I did this and this? And all of a sudden, like, it opens up your mind to like, oh, my offer just sucked. I get the right offer, people are going to go crazy for it because it seems so cheap, right? Okay? So that's the game. That's the game with creating an offer. So what your guys' job is to sit down with your team, with yourself, with your spouse, with your kids, whatever it is, and say, okay, what potential products can I do here? Okay? When Kiana was doing it for a babysitting product, she's like, okay, well, I could wash the dishes, I could clean the bathroom, I could cook healthy food, I could play games with the kids, and she started making all these things, and that gave her the power of the things to be able to create. Okay, when we were at the kid event, at the Unlock the Secrets event, I brought these kids on stage too, and we said, okay, you're a lawn mowing company. Okay, everyone out there is mowing lawns. What could you do to increase the value? And these kids were like, what if we went and we scrubbed their windows? What if we did this? And like these kids off top of their like pulling these ideas out and building insane offers. I said, man, everyone else is charging $30 to mow a lawn. I'd pay you $500 to mow a lawn because you're also doing boom, 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 right? You increase the value of the offer. Okay, and we gave them all these things. We did lawn mowing. We did, what if we did this kind of business and this kind? We started giving them, throwing out these random businesses, and I watched these kids start getting really good at increasing the value of the offer. Okay, so for you, you got to become a master of that too, just like these kids. What else could you offer? What else could you offer? What else could you offer? Keep building this potential product up. Okay, and that's where you're going to have this palette of offers. Now, this is important. As we get to funnel building tomorrow, you need to have tons of potential products. Okay, because if you're doing a cart funnel, you need a product on your first page. You need products for your upsells, your downsells, your order form bumps. So this is something you're continually adding, continually figuring out. We have a whole drive full of like trainings and products and software and worksheets and lists. Like everything we ever created in the past all goes somewhere that could become a potential product in the future. Okay, right now I'm filming this Funnelology course. This will be a course we sell on its own, but it'll probably be a bonus somewhere else. It'll probably be somewhere like, okay, I'm always building up my inventory of potential products. And then when I have an idea, okay, I create the product, I look through here, what things can I bundle with it to make it amazing, and boom, now I've got a sexy offer. Okay, so for you guys, like this should be a thing that you're doing, not just once, but like every week, sit down with your team, sit down with yourself and figure out what else could I offer, what else could I offer. Okay, because until you get the right offer, it gets really hard to get people to give you money. You get the right offer, it's really easy. Okay? All right, so that's your homework, is go down, list out your potential products, and then from that, figure out which things am I willing to go and do? Okay, because again, like when the One Funnel Away Challenge, like one of the ideas was like, fly to Russell's house and have him build your funnel. Like, okay, that sounds amazing, but for $100, I'm not going to do that. So I don't have to put it on the offer slide. I just put things on the offer slide that I'm willing to do. Okay, I figure out what are my non-negotiables? I'm not going to do this, not going to do this, not going to do this, but here are the things I am willing to do. I figure those things out, I put in my offer slide, and boom, now I've got a sexy offer. Now I've got something to go and test. Okay? All right, so there's offer. Now, this is important to understand is that you're going to be using offers again on every single page of your funnel. Okay, so look at this right here. There's going to be offers on your ads. Okay, I'm making it like every time someone clicks on my ad, I'm making an offer. Click on this ad, I'm going to show you a free video. Click on this ad, I'm going to give you a template. I'm going to give you a checklist. Click on this ad to go. You're right. So every single ad, there's an offer. They go to my landing page. Like, give me your email address. I'm going to give you this. There's an offer there. Okay. Give me money, I'm going to give you this. There's an offer there. Buy my upsell, I'm going to give you this. There's an offer there. Okay, so it's important to start building out this inventory because you're using these offers over and over and over and over again in different places. Okay, some people wonder why I'm able to get products up and launched and live so fast. It's because I've been building for the last decade and a half an inventory of products that I can go and start plugging into things. Okay, it's your time to start building those things up. Okay, every time you record something, every time you put a microphone on, every time you interview somebody, those are potential products you could be selling. Okay, so start capturing, start cataloging, and start having them ready for yourself so that when you're ready to create your own offers, you've got these things you can start plugging into places. Okay, all right, so there is the offer section. Okay, so come back here, we got hook, we got story, we got offer. Okay, so the offers are the key. So now I'm going to go back one step because the offer increases the value, but the next thing that increases the value, if you tell a story about the offer, that also increases the value of it. Okay, so we're going to start now with stories. Okay, now here's why stories are essential. If I'm working with somebody, my dream client, and I want to really serve them, okay, I found my dream client, okay, for someone to change their destiny, they have to make a decision. Okay, if I want to get this person over here so I can change their life, they've got to make a decision, okay? For them to make a decision, they have to change their state. Most people are in a state where they're not happy, they're miserable, and for me to grab them, hook them, and get them to go find their wallet and give me money excitedly to go on a journey with me to change their life, like I've got to change their state. Okay, and the best way to get them to make a decision, change their state, and the best way to change their state is by telling them a story. Okay, so I hook them, I tell them a story, the story changes their state, the state helps them make a decision, and the decision changes their destiny. See how those things all fall together? So if I don't tell them a story, if I just throw it like, hey, you should buy my iPhone, don't want an iPhone? No, I'm out. Boom. Okay, but if I hook them, okay, and then boom, I change their state, I tell them a story to change their state, to get them so they can make a decision so they can change their destiny. Okay? So an offer without a state change is useless. That's what you got to understand. An offer without a state change is useless. Okay, so the big secret is you have to become really good at story selling. Now, a lot of you guys have seen me map this out before. This is kind of the big premise of the Expert Secrets book, but it's so important. It's understanding this concept that we call the Epiphany Bridge. Okay, now a lot of you guys have heard me talk about this before, but I want to map it out for the new people, but also hopefully some of you guys will get a different aha or epiphany as you're listening to it. Okay, so if you think about this, I want you to go back in time to when you were a normal human. You guys remember that? Before you were excited about whatever it is you're doing now. Before I was excited about funnels, before I was excited about wrestling, before I was excited about whatever the thing is that you sell. Okay, back when you're just a normal human and you're just wandering around the universe, like doing whatever you do before you bumped into something, right? So remember that. This is you at the very beginning, okay? Then something happened to you, right? Some experience happened. I want you to start thinking about what was the experience. for me, like, what was the experience that got me excited about funnels? Excuse me. Okay, if I'm selling wrestling, what was the experience that got me excited about wrestling? Like, something happened. Okay, some experience happened, and it changed you, right? And what changed you went on this journey. Okay, I call this the epiphany bridge because this is like you had this epiphany of like, oh my gosh, I need a funnel. Oh my gosh, like I'm a wrestler. Like I want to be a wrestler. Oh my gosh, I want to be a drummer. Like what was the story? What was the experience happened that gave you this epiphany? Okay, well, you remember that, and then realize that after you had that epiphany and you were sold, like I want to do, like you had this emotional thing that sold you emotionally. Like this is amazing. You went on this journey, and then you started like geeking out on it, right? That's for me. I was like, I learned about funnels, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, right? To me, it's for my epiphany story, right? Like, I'm not gonna go deep into it, but selling my potato gun. I sold my potato gun through a funnel, and it had success. And I was like, oh, the angels were singing, like, I could use this in any business. And I went and launched like 400 new companies in the next like 2 days, all using funnels because the potato gun funnel made money, right? That was my big epiphany. And so I started geeking out, going on this journey over here. And on the other side of this journey is where we geek out. I'm gonna put glasses. Let's give this guy a little hair. There you go. So you geek out and you come on this side of the journey, and all of a sudden here, you become very logical. You're like, this is amazing. Do you realize that the reason why funnels are so important because if I increase the average cart value and I get my CPA down and my blah, 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 then I can make a ton of money, right? We start geeking out logically, and you start understanding, oh, if you do this and you do this, and like you get all the but we call this techno-babble, right? Techno-babble. And you become this like genius at your thing. Okay, and the problem with this is that for most of us and you become so good at this thing that you're just like, I am a genius. I can go convert the whole world. And you run out and you go find these unexpected little humans who are walking around. You're like, guess what? They're like, what? And you're like, let me tell you about funnels. And you start spewing out all this information you have about CPAs and average cart values and upsells and downsells and order form bumps and everything. And they're just like, I don't know. And they have no idea what's happening. They freak out and they run away, right? I see this in every single industry. I see this in network marketing is probably the worst, right? You get sold on something, you come over here, you get all the research, you go to the convention, you go to the event, you learn all the science behind why your thing's so exciting, and then you go, you find your prospects, and you pounce on them, and you spew out all your techno-babble, and you scare the crap out of them, okay? It happens over and over and over again. I see trainers do this, okay? They got big old muscles, and they find some guy who's like, oh, I want muscles like yours, and they start talking to you about lactic acid, and about carbs and protein versus in your macros, and you're just like, I just want biceps, like what, right? And that's the problem, is we think we're so smart that we spew all this techno-babble on, okay? We have to understand, if you want to become good at selling, you cannot sell through techno-babble. Okay, this is logic. You were not logically convinced to go on this journey. I know, I guarantee you, if you go back in time and start thinking, okay, sometimes it's hard for us to remember, like, what was the thing back here? What was the emotional experience I had that took me on this journey? We have to remember that is. Okay, because we spent so much time geeking out that we think this is all it is, and this is what we try to sell people with, and it kills our sales every single time. If you want to sell anything, the secret is to come back on this journey, back to where you were at when you were a normal human, and remember that, because that's where the person that you're about to meet is at. Okay, when they click on your ad, they show up. This is where they're at. They have not committed to this journey. They're not going to geek out with you right now. Okay, but they're here right now, and you're coming in. They just clicked on your ad. Your job, your goal, okay, you already hooked them. You got this little window to tell them a story. You need to tell them a story about why you care about this stuff. Why were you emotionally sold? Why should they care? You tell your story, and if you do it in the right way, and again, this is outside the context of this training. This is the Expert Secrets book. If you tell them the right way, they will have the same epiphany that you just had, and they'll go on their own journey. They'll study it. They'll geek out. They'll figure out all the math and the science and the technology behind it. But that's not what sells them. What sells them is this emotional experience. It's you telling them your story that breaks their false beliefs, that gets them to want to come on this journey. That's the big aha. That's the big secret. Okay, so you got to remember this. What was your story? So when you have that window where you hook somebody and you tell them the story, if you start spewing your techno-babble, you will lose them. Okay, you tell them your story about how this thing changed your life. You give them the epiphany. Then they'll make the state change they'll need. They'll make the decision they need to make. All things will happen. And you'll be able to actually serve them. Okay, that's the big secret. Okay, so if I come back to my slides here, here's the epiphany bridge, right? There's our person ahead of time. They have the aha, they go on the epiphany bridge. They logically geek out, cross out techno-babble. Okay, so that's what you understand. This is the key. Okay, all right. I feel like I should ask for any questions, but there's a live audience, but I'm sitting here. So any questions? If so, you should ask your neighbor. Just kidding. So that's the epiphany bridge. This is like one of the biggest realizations I've had over the last 5 or 6 years, and I've seen as people have taken this principle, it's the key that makes your ads work, and makes sure your videos work, your podcast work, like everything is like understanding it's this story. It's you remembering these stories, getting better and better at telling stories that'll increase your conversion, right? I said if a funnel isn't working, it's always your hook, your story, your offer. Okay, we talked about offer earlier, but if it's not your offer, if the offer's like, this offer's insane, well, your story's wrong. You're not positioning it, you're not making them, like if you tell the story the right way, it increases the value of the offer you're about to make them, right? So if they're not buying the offer, it means your story wasn't right. You got to tell the story differently. Figure out the story. Cut out the techno babble. Cut out the confusing words. Cut out all the things that they're keeping them from success, and figure out how do I tell the story in a way that gets them excited so they have the same epiphany that I just had. Because if you can do that, they're going to come on the journey themselves. They sell themselves. Okay. All right. So I want to go through this. This is the next piece of this is to understand is your customers. In fact, I'm going to draw this as we go through this. So your customers all right now, when they come to you, they've got, if they understood everything correctly right now, they would already bought with you, right? So the reason why they haven't came to you yet is they've got these different false beliefs, okay? And these could be from like our society, it could be from trial and error, it could be from a million different things, right? But all of them have these false beliefs, okay? So I call these the chains of false belief. So here's the person, and they got these chains of false beliefs that are holding back, okay? So that's the first thing to understand is that there are these chains of false belief, okay? So if you want to think about like what were the false beliefs you had before you went on your journey, okay? Like for me with funnels, like I thought the best way to make money was on selling stuff on eBay or on Craigslist, or I thought you had to have a degree to make money, or I thought you had to have a business license, like I thought you had to have like I had always been false beliefs of why I couldn't be successful when I got started. It's hard for me to remember now because like I just think everybody can be successful, but there was a time back then where I had these chains of false belief that held me back. Okay, and the reality is most people who are going to be clicking on my ads have those same false beliefs right now. So that's number one, right? Then you got to think about why do they have this false belief? Well, something happened to them in their life, right? Something happened. I'm gonna give me a black eye because he got beat up, right? There's some experience that happened that gave them this false belief, right? And they remember this. It's like inside their head, like this is the experience that happened that gave me this false belief. Okay, here's a frowny face one. There's this experience, right? So number one is the chains, false belief. Number two is the experience that they had. So when you start thinking for yourself, like, why did you believe that thing? What was the reason why you believed it? Well, I believed it was hard to make money because my parents, this isn't true for me, but my parents struggle with money, and so because they said it was hard to make money, I believe it was hard to make money, right? Or whatever it might be. There's some experience that happened that keeps them, they gave them this false belief, right? So because of this experience, they have a story in their mind. We're like, well, this is here's your story. Okay, they have the story like, well, this is the story because like I can't be successful here because of whatever story, right? So and I'm going to show you guys an example of this here in a second, so it'll make more sense as we kind of go through here. So they've got this story about why this thing is this false belief. And so your job then is to come through and figure out how to tell them a better story. Does that make sense? If not, that's okay because I'm about to show it to you. So let me give you guys an example of this, okay? So I'm gonna tease my network marketing friends. I love them. I've been involved in multiple network marketing companies. I own ownership in a couple of them as well. So I love network marketers, but I'm still gonna tease you a little bit because it's just kind of fun. So here we go. So pretend like this is me. This is Devon at Funnel Hacking Live. Devon comes up to me and he's like, "Hey Russell, I want you to join my company." I'm like, "Sweet dude, I'm in. This sounds awesome." I sign up, and he's like, "All right, see those guys right there, Pam and Jim? I need you to go sign them up." I'm like, "Okay, here we go." So I'm gonna go over there to talk to Pam and Jim now. First thing I think about is, okay, what's the chain of false belief that Jim already has, okay? He doesn't believe network marketing is the right vehicle to make money for some reason, right? Okay, so I think okay, he believes it's not right. Why does he believe that? What's the experience he has? So I think about that. Okay, maybe it's because Michael Scott tackled him and tried to pitch him on something, so this is the experience. Like, I had this bad experience, that's why I believe this. So now he's got a story in his head, like what's the story he tells himself? The story he tells himself, I don't know if you have seen this episode or not. If not, it's worth Googling or getting on Hulu or whatever and watching, is that all network marketing things are pyramid schemes, right? So this is the false belief that runs Jim's life. Okay, based on this false belief, I can pitch him any opportunity on planet Earth, no matter how good, no matter how legitimate it is, and he is going to say no matter what because he has this false belief because of this experience, and he's built this story in his mind. Okay? So it doesn't matter how many times he clicks on my ad, how many times I pitch him, how good my presentation is, how good my, like how sexy the car is I'm driving, like no matter what I do, it's never going to work because his false belief is so ingrained in his mind because of these life experiences that have happened, okay? The only way that I can beat him, the only way that I can, not beat him, the only way I can get him to believe something different is to tell him a better story. Okay, that's when we come in and we tell our Epiphany Bridge story. Okay, we tell a story that rewrites his story. I was in a private mastermind group in Puerto Rico about 6 months ago, and I was sitting there with a whole bunch of just amazing marketers, and one of the guys' name is Craig Clemens, who's probably one of the greatest living copywriters on the planet Earth right now. He was talking about writing copy and the stories, and he said something fascinating to me. He said, my job as a marketer is to rewrite people's stories. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's what he's talking about here, right? So if I come here and Jim's like, I think that network marketing is a scam, the reason is because my friends knocked me over and because I believe it's a pyramid scheme. Well, if I come back and say, well, that's awesome. In fact, Jim, I believe the exact same thing. I used to be identical to you. Like I believe the same thing and I never believed it until one day I saw this guy on the internet and he was generating leads online. It was the most weird thing. And he wasn't calling his friends, wasn't calling his family members. He was buying Facebook and Google ads. They were coming to a form. They filled out. Then he called those people. And because they asked him to call him, they actually answered the phone. And he was getting like 1 out of 3 people he called to actually sign up. It was the craziest thing in the world. And so I was like, well, if I don't have to talk to my friends and my family, I'm willing to at least try it. So I went and I tried it. I went through this process. And this is a picture of me winning a Ferrari. I was #1 money earner in a company. I won a Ferrari. And I didn't actually talk to a single human being ever. I did it all through the internet. So I told him that story. And all of a sudden, Jim's like, oh my gosh, if my story trumps his, then he changes his belief pattern. And that's the key. That's how this whole game is played. Okay? So it's coming back and really understanding this, saying, okay, what are the reasons? Sorry about that. What are the reasons why they're not going to believe me? Okay? What's the experience they went through they caused them that? And what's the story they're telling themselves? And then what story do I have that will trump that? Okay? What story do I have that will rewrite the story inside of his head? All of a sudden, Jim's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. If I could actually, because like I always wanted to make money in network marketing, but I didn't want to get beat up. I didn't want to talk to my friends. If I could do it through this other avenue, that would change everything. Okay? That's the magic. Okay? And so the next question people always ask me is like, okay, that's cool, but what stories do I actually tell? Okay? And so there's a lot of different stories. I'm going to walk you through this because we call this the big domino. The big domino is a concept. I actually was I was at an event in New York probably 6 or 7 years ago now, before ClickFunnels came out. And at this event, Tim Ferriss was one of the keynote speakers. And Tim got on stage. It was interesting because everyone's asking questions and stuff. And then one guy raised his hand and said, I have a question. What question should we be asking you that nobody's asked you yet? And Tim kind of smiled for a second. He said, you know what? People always ask me what's my day look like? Like, can you follow me around with the camera and like see what my life is like? He's like, I've always told people no. He's like, the reason, he's like, if you saw my life, it's actually really, really boring. He said, you know, I wake up in the morning and I drink some tea and I sit on my couch and I look out the window and I think for a couple of hours and I go and I'll read a book or two and then I'll listen to the podcast and I'll walk around and go on a walk and then I'll think some more. And he's like, I might do that for a week or a month or a couple months sometimes. He's like, because I'm not doing a lot, but he's like, what I'm doing is like, most people, they spread out their day where they're like, okay, here's my to-do list. There's 1,000 things they have to go in there doing, thing after thing, and they're trying to bust out all their stuff. He said, for me, it's different. He said, I try to sit there, and I'll spend a month or 2 months or 3 months trying to figure out what is the one big domino that if I knock down that domino, either knocks down all the other dominoes or makes them irrelevant. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's powerful. Like, what is the one big domino? And I started realizing this in sales, like, there's always a big domino in every single sales presentation. Like, what's the one thing? If I get you to believe one thing, then you're gonna come and you're gonna come to me, right? You're gonna start using funnels. You're gonna start losing weight through my weight loss program, or you're gonna whatever it is that you sell, right? There's one big domino that if you can knock that down, it makes all the other dominoes irrelevant or obsolete. Okay? And so that's the big thing. Is like we try to tell stories in a way that's gonna knock down the big domino so we can get them. Okay? Now inside of our marketing, there's 4 core stories we tell, and we'll walk through this. So the very first story in a presentation is called the origin story, okay? So the origin story, if you come back here, this is typically the origin story. The origin story about why you do what you do, why you're so excited, okay? Now, if you're doing this in like a perfect webinar, like you're doing the perfect webinar presentation, Most of you guys had a chance to go through that training, hopefully in the past. If you haven't, the Perfect Webinar Training is a 90-minute sales presentation we do through webinars, through Facebook Lives, through on stage, things like that. This is kind of, if it's the first 15 minutes of your presentation is the origin story, okay? This isn't a 90-minute presentation. So if you're only got 10 minutes or if you've got a 15-minute presentation, it shrinks, right? But it's basically 1/6 of your presentation is your origin story, okay? So this is you telling the story about why you fell into, like why you believe what you believe. So if you see my funnel hacks presentation, this was my origin story, okay? The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. My first 13 slides right there are me telling my origin story about why I'm so excited about funnels. Okay, so I tell that first origin story, and for some people, when I tell that story, they're like, oh my gosh, I need to funnel my business too, right? Some of them, like, they got the aha, and they're ready to go buy. They're ready to go run and just give me money because they're sold, right? So then my origin story is the very first chance I had to push this big domino down. And again, for a percentage of your audience, you tell that one story, and that will push the domino down, and boom, they are in. They are ready to do whatever it is you're doing, right? They're following you on this path. They're geeking out now. They're studying. They're learning, and they will be a faithful follower for the rest of your life, okay? Now, unfortunately, not everybody believes as easy as that, right? So what happens is if the first dominoes knock it down, if the origin story is the pot knock it down, then what happens is there's 3 things that keep it up. Okay, there's 3 dominoes that get it stuck. There's the vehicle, the internal belief, and the external belief. Okay, so these are the next 3 stories. Okay, so if the domino doesn't fall, I got to tell 3 other sub-stories. One of them is about the vehicle. So the vehicle is the thing you're trying to put them into, right? So my vehicle is funnels. I'm trying to get you guys to believe that funnels are the greatest thing. It's the best way to grow your company. Your vehicle could be something different. It's like, this is my weight loss process is the best. My process for saving relationships is the best. My process for whatever it is, the vehicle you're trying to put your potential customers in, right? That's the first false belief. Okay, the second one is the internal beliefs. Their ability to actually have success with your vehicle, right? So somebody may say, well, Russell, this is awesome. I believe that funnels will change my life, but I just don't know if I can do it. I'm not technical. I don't know how to do things like that, right? So the internal beliefs about themselves. And then third false belief that keeps you back from success is maybe like, I believe in funnels, I believe it can work for me, but there's this external thing. I don't know how to drive traffic. Okay, let's say it's a weight loss plan. Like, I believe that keto is the best thing in the world. I believe I could actually do it, but my wife, she buys sugar and ice cream, and there's going to be in our house. I couldn't do it. There's the external thing, something else that keeps me from being successful, right? Okay, and so that's the next step here. So as I move to story number 2, this is my story about the vehicle. Okay, so I'm going to tell an Epiphany Bridge story about why I believe this vehicle is the best vehicle in the world. Okay, that's happening the second 15 minutes of my presentation, okay, or the second 1/6 of my presentation, okay? So in here, I come back here, I say, okay, what's the false belief pattern that somebody has? Okay, what's the change of false belief? Okay, why did they experience that? What's the story they're telling themselves, and what story can I use to trump it? Okay, so for me, if I'm telling you funnels are the greatest thing in the world, and you're like, I don't know if it really is, then here in my presentation, I do a presentation where I talk about the death of a website. Okay, and so here are my slides. This is where I give this part of the presentation, right? I talk about secret number 1. I go through and I tell the story about funnel hacking and Tony Robbins, and I go through this how I found a funnel that worked, and I funnel hacked it, and I modeled it, and I go through the whole thing. And these slides right here now tell my Epiphany Bridge story about the vehicle. Okay, it takes me about 15 minutes to go through that part of the story. Okay, if I do it correctly, then if my story trumps theirs, then boom, the domino falls, and they're ready to sign up. Okay, so I've had 2 chances so far to knock down this domino, and every time I do this, another percentage of people are like, boom, I'm in, boom, I'm in, boom, I'm in, okay? Then I move to story number 3, which goes back to the internal beliefs, okay? So if they're still like, okay, that's cool, Russell, I believe funnels are the greatest thing in the world, but I don't believe I can do it, then I've got to come back and say, okay, well, why, like, what are the chains of false belief about why they don't think they can do it, okay? What was the experience they probably had? So for me, it might be like, oh, that's cool, but I'm not technical, so I don't think I can do it. Okay, well, why did they experience that? Well, I tried to build something one time in WordPress, and it didn't work, and it was frustrating. Okay, so what's the story of telling them? I'm not a technical person. I can't build funnels. So I got a trumpet saying, okay, well, look, this is so simple. We even had Grant Cardone, the least technical person on planet Earth, who actually built an entire funnel in a plane. Let me show you how it worked, right? And then boom, I go into my story number 3. I go through all my slides where I tell the third Epiphany Bridge story. Okay, it's my third pass, and if my story trumps theirs, then boom, the domino falls, and they come in and they're ready to get signed up. Okay, and then the 4th story then is the external belief. Okay, so they believe in funnels. They believe they could actually. I watched how easy it is to click funnels. I can actually build funnels now, but I don't know how to drive traffic, so I'm out. Okay, I got one more story. Okay, my last story is my external belief story. This takes the last 15 minutes of the hour. Okay, so come here. What's the false belief? Why do they believe they can't do it? Well, they tried to drive traffic in the past and it didn't work. What's the experience? The chain of false belief is like, well, I don't really believe that I don't know how to get traffic. Traffic is really hard. Okay, it's really expensive. Why did they do that? Well, I tried to buy ads on LinkedIn one time. It was like $45 a lead, so it was really expensive, so I stopped trying. Okay, so what's the story they're telling themselves? Story is like, well, traffic's expensive and hard. Okay, well, actually, let me teach this. Here's this really cool way that I get traffic and it doesn't cost me hardly anything. And then I go through the Epiphany Bridge story. I tell the whole Epiphany Bridge story about that. I show them the whole process. If my story trumps theirs, they're like, oh my gosh, I actually could drive traffic. This is amazing. I believe in funnels. I believe I can do funnels. I believe I can get traffic. Okay, and if I've done it right, then that knocks it down. All the dominoes are down, and they're just waiting to come and give me money. Okay, so that's the power. And then the last step then is to make the offer. And so here I go through, I make my offer. Going through the stack slide, that's the last 30 minutes of my presentation. So a 90-minute presentation, or if it's, again, a 30-minute presentation, it's the last 2/6 or 1/3. Is that right? Yeah, 1/3 of my presentation, okay? And I go through there, and that's kind of how that part works there, okay? So if you've watched any of my presentations, you guys have seen this. This is the process, how it works. Origin story, story about the vehicle, story about the internal beliefs, story about the external beliefs, stack and a close, boom, $100 million company. Okay, like that's the whole thing. That's what we did, okay? That's the framework and how it works. Okay, all right, I got a couple more quick things here, and then we're going to break. Does that sound good? I know that as I tell you guys this process of like telling stories and being emotional and all these kind of things, it can be kind of hard or scary. So for those of you who are just getting started, I wanted to show you some videos of me when I got started. Because I guarantee you, you are better than I am right now. I was really, really bad. So who here wants to see the very first time I spoke? I showed this last year's Funnelology Live, and I got teased a lot. So I'm a little nervous about it. I almost deleted these slides right before we got started, but here we are. So this is the very first time I spoke. This is Russell with a shaved head and his glasses and his tie on with his shirt kind of poofy because I didn't know how to tuck it in right. And you're probably looking like, you're right, Russell. This is why your wife didn't want to date you. I'm like, I know. Like, good thing I made a good offer, right? Otherwise, I'd be in trouble right now. So here's a video. Anyway, I'm just going to play it without any further ado. Here we go. But what I wanted to talk about tonight is kind of a broad overview, hopefully help you to get better information out of the whole internet marketing business. This is a lot bigger group than I had planned on. Okay, so that was bad. You guys want to see the very first time I ever made an offer? This is one that I heard people making T-shirts for Funnelology Live with this on it. So here's me making my very first offer. You ready? Here we go. Okay, I've got. Am I getting close on time? If you do join the affiliate bootcamp, it'll give you lifelong training. It's a $47 a month value. You'll get it for free. Who would like a piece of that? Here's my irresistible offer. And hopefully you guys learned a lot from this presentation.
Give him a standing ovation. He did a great job.
And nobody stood. Not even one person stood up. Who wants a piece of that? So that's the joke. So if you're at Funnelology Live this year, feel free to make fun of me. Who wants a piece of that? So anyway, this is hopefully give you guys some encouragement. Like, the more you do this, the better you'll get at actually doing it. You just got to do it and start practicing, getting it out there. Okay. I want you to understand, like, the more simple your product is, the easier you can do this, right? So if I have a really simple product, like, hey, you know, I'm on my iPhone, I can tell you one story, and you're like, sweet, I'm in. Okay. So you just have one Epiphany Bridge story, make them an offer, and that's it. Okay? If I'm trying to get you to click on an ad, my story doesn't have to be long. It's just like, let me grab a hook, tell you a quick story, go click on my ad right now, and they click on the ad. Like the story can be short and simple. Okay? If I'm selling a complex product, okay, like a $1,000 sale or a $5,000 sale or whatever, that's when you go through and you got to have story for your origin story, your vehicle, your internal belief, your external belief. So the more expensive, the more complicated product is, the more stories you got to tell. The more simple, the less you can do. Okay? So that's kind of an important part to understand as well. Okay? So we talked earlier about you guys putting together like a product inventory. The next thing on your homework assignment is to go start putting together a story inventory. You come back here and say, okay, what are the chains of false belief my customers have? Okay, they have false belief about this and about this and about this and about this, okay? And list out at least 10 false beliefs that your customers have. Okay, that's step number one. Okay? And if you can't think of false beliefs, like I don't know my customer's false beliefs, so I got two options. Number one is think back about yourself back when you were here. Before you started this, when you were a normal person, what were the false beliefs you had or you would have had if somebody came and tried to pitch you on this? Okay, think about it. What are the false beliefs? Put those things in there. Okay, and the second thing is if you don't know, then go ask people. Go up to somebody like, hey, I think you should build a funnel. And they're like, why? Like, and you explain it and start listing it. What are the false beliefs they keep coming back with? Okay, you talk to 2 or 3 people, you're going to find it really quick. Like, these are all the false beliefs people have. Okay, so figure out what are the things that are the chains of false belief they're holding back. Then the next line say, well, what's the experience that they probably experienced that made them have that chain of false belief? What was the actual experience? Think about that and write it down. Okay. And then now I said, okay, now this is the experience they had. What's the story that they're telling themselves? Okay, the story is this. They have a story that's happening in their head, subconsciously. It's running in their head every single time that someone comes to them with an offer or an opportunity like this. They got a story. It's not going to work because of this. It's not going to work because of this. They always have the story running in their head. So your job is to figure out what that story is, because you have to trump their story. You've got to tell a better story to overwrite their story. Okay? So you're listening to the story, and then what's the epiphany bridge? What story do you have that's better, that's going to rewrite the story in their mind so they can actually move forward with you? Okay? So for you guys, you need to start building out your inventory of stories. Okay? You should have 10, you should have 20, you should have 100. How many stories do you guys hear me tell? If you listen to my podcast, watch my Facebook Lives, this training alone, how many stories have I probably told? There's a lot, right? You gotta start building out your inventory of stories. The reason why I tell you guys stories is I know that as I'm telling you guys different pieces of this, every one of you guys have false concerns, kind of false beliefs, like, oh, that's not gonna work because of this, or because of this, or because of this. So I'm inserting stories in my teaching to try to destroy those false beliefs so you'll be able to continue with me on this journey. Okay? Because if I tell you something 15 minutes into this training and you get a false belief, you're not gonna believe anything else to say afterwards. So I tell a story to crush that so you can continue to believe and you keep coming with me on this journey, okay? All right, so that's the story part. So we talked about, we got hook, story, and offer, okay? So the last piece in this bait is the hook, okay? We talked about the offer, okay? The offer increases the value. We talked about the story increases the value of the offer. And then the hook actually does not provide any value. Okay, all the hook does is it grabs their attention just long enough that you can tell them the story and then make them the offer. Okay, so every story you create has multiple different hooks. Okay, the hooks could be, there's tons of them. It could be the picture of the thing. It could be a story. It could be a goofy picture. It could be a video. It could be an image. It could be, like, hooks are the things that's grabbing attention. Okay, so think about your dream customer sitting on their phone, scrolling through things. The hooks are what get them to stop scrolling. That's what a hook is, okay? So where do you find hooks? If you go online, every single ad you see is a hook. Okay, every one of my ads is a hook. Every ad from every advertiser you have are hooks. Start looking, you'll start seeing the hooks. Okay, they're out there. And start noticing, what are the ones that make you stop and be like, hey, what's that? Oh, what's that? Okay, I literally, every single day, I spend a few minutes a couple times a day, scrolling through Facebook and scrolling through Instagram and YouTube, and all I'm doing is I'm looking for things that grab my attention. So let's see, I stop it, I take a picture, like, that grabbed my attention. I don't know why, but let me see, what was it? Was it the headline? Was it the image? Was it the word? Was it the video? Was it something goofy they did? Was it the way they presented something? What was the hook that got me to stop in my tracks? I look at that and I start studying them and I start getting ideas for hooks I can use in my marketing. Okay, so there's tons of them. Okay, so I recommend start going, look at the 2 Commonwealth Cup winners, people who've already been successful. Look at theirs and say, what are their hooks they're throwing out there? What are the ads they have out there? Okay, there's tons of good ones. This is Drew Manning, Fit to Fat to Fit. Okay, his hooks, if you watch his, are some of my favorite hooks. It's him on Jay Leno. He was a fit trainer who gained a whole bunch of weight and got fat, and lost a bunch of weight and got fit. So one of his hooks is him on Jay Leno. There's hooks of him before and after, after pictures as hooks. There's pictures of his students, there's pictures of his clients, there's pictures of steak, there's pictures of cake, there's pictures, like, all these things are hooks he's throwing out there to grab people and pull them into his keto funnels. Okay, Natalie Hodson has a product called Abs Core Pelvic Floor. It helps women to be able to strengthen their, so that they don't do that. I don't even know how to explain it. Anyway, like, the ad of her peeing her pants during a live video is what got people to, is a hook that grabbed people's attention and brought them into her funnels. Okay, she launched this funnel with this hook and did $1 million in the first 4 months. Okay, because that hook grabbed her dream customers who had this problem and sucked them into her funnels. And it's amazing, right? The right hook is going to grab so many people and bring into your funnels. Okay, Garrett White, this is one of his hooks. Okay, learn to unlock nearly unlimited sex, power, and money without having to cheat on your wife, get a divorce, ignore your children, leave your church, sedate with drugs, or party like a rock star in Las Vegas. Like, is that a good hook? Maybe not for you, but for his dream customer, right? Like, that's an amazing hook. Here's how to have all the things you want in life without any of the things you don't want in life, right? And so it's like we're throwing out hooks and we're testing hooks all the time, hook after hook after hook after hook after hook, to see what things grab people's attention, okay? And so the next thing is you're building out an inventory of hooks. Like, what are all the different hooks I can have? Okay, every time we create a new product, like when here we go. This is the new Traffic Secrets book. Whoa. Well, it's an image of it. It's not an actual book, but as we've been creating this book, I've been taking pictures of myself writing the book, pictures of myself editing the book, pictures of us taking the shots for the cover, videos of that. We got me speaking at events about this. Like there's me writing this book in my kid's car with my feet up while watching my daughter play soccer. There's me and my kids in the swimming pool writing the book. Like, I've been documenting everything in this journey because all those things will turn into ads as soon as this book goes live. Okay? Every single thing you're doing, we're creating hook after hook after hook. And so it's like, as you're creating stuff, you start documenting the process of everything you're doing, because every single thing you're doing can become a hook. So again, hook's hard to identify. It could be an image, it could be a video, it could be a headline, it could be all these things. But the biggest key is it's something that's going to grab their attention just long enough. You can tell them a story to increase the perceived value, and then make the offer. Okay? So my question for you is how many hooks you're throwing out. My guess is you need to throw out a whole bunch more. Okay? All right, so hook, story, and offer. That is the bait section here in the secret formula. Now remember, with hook, story, offer, every single page in your funnel has hook, story, offers. Okay? On your ad, there's a hook, there's a story, there's an offer. Okay, then they click, then they come to your landing page. There's a hook, there's a story, there's an offer. Then they go to your sales page, there's a hook, there's a story, there's an offer. They go to your upsell page, there's a hook, story, and offer. Okay, it's in every single element, everything you do. Every email you send out has a hook, story, offer. Every podcast you publish has a hook, story, offer. Every video you do, everything you're doing, there's a hook, a story, and offer. Okay, and if it's not working, it's always one of those things. Either your hook was wrong, your story was wrong, or your offer is no good. Okay, so if you want to become amazing at this game, it's becoming amazing at understanding this and figure out how do I make my hooks sexier? How do I increase my offer? How do I make my stories better? Like the better you get those three things, the better you're going to be at everything in this entire journey. Does that make sense? This is the core fundamentals behind funnelology, behind making your funnels work, is understanding these principles. Okay, and again, if something's not working, it's always either your hook, your story, or your offer. Okay, so let's come back to the secret formula, and then we're going to take a break here in about 2 minutes. So again, the secret formula comes back to number one is, who is your dream customer? Where are they congregating? Okay, and then the bait. What is the hook, the story, the offer we're throwing out into that ocean to grab their attention, tell them a story, make them an offer. And then the last step then is like the result. Where are we taking these people? Okay, after we get someone's attention, we get them to buy something, like now what? Okay, is it a one-off transaction, we never see them again, or are you building a relationship? Are you serving them over the long term? Okay, and that really is what we're going to be talking about during the next presentation when we come back from the break, which is going to go deep into the value ladder and a whole bunch of new things that I've never talked about before there. So that's kind of the game plan. So that, you guys, was session number one of Funnelology. I hope you like it so far. We're going to do another session now in about 30 minutes. We're going to take a break. The live streams will be stayed open. I'm going to show some video clips from Funnel Hacking Live during the live streams, and then I'm going to go get some lunch, bathroom break, all those kind of things like that. So right now is a good time for you as well. Like I said, we'll be playing some videos about Funnel Hacking Live during the break. There should be a countdown clock as well. When the countdown clock hits 0, I will be back here live going on session number 2 of the Funnelology training course. And that's kind of the game plan. So with that said, thanks you guys, and we'll see you in less than 30 minutes. Stay here. Don't go anywhere. Don't close anything down. We're going to be back.
If I had to predict where I would be 1 year from the day I signed up to join Russell's Mastermind, I could never have predicted the growth. It has been a life-changing experience.
Funnel Hacking Live is an event that is put on by Russell Brunson, where he shares with internet entrepreneurs exactly how to accelerate their success by using a software that he created called ClickFunnels to create websites that actually make sales in a very easy way for people who are looking to succeed online.
ClickFunnels came out of nowhere. They took the marketplace by storm, just like Apple did when they first launched the iPhone. It was not a linear move anymore. It was a quantum move in improvement that'll open up a gap to allow people just like you and me, who are not technically savvy. We weren't born in the matrix, and we didn't have a chip implanted in our heads. We're not engineers or computer science majors. An opportunity to cut and decrease the time of stress and anxiety and suffering behind a keyboard. Trust me.
You can talk bad about my mama, but you cannot talk bad about ClickFunnels, because what ClickFunnels has done for my business, I can't even begin to tell you.
Russell's just make it so simple for anybody to just instantly get it.
So authentic.
One of the most genuinely nice individuals and human beings you will ever meet.
Breaks it down really easy.
He's just a risk taker. He's a mover and a shaker.
The first time I spoke with him, immediately I knew I was playing small.
We took these guys to an exotic car racing place.
What's better than getting in an exotic car? It's called dream racing, right? Like all it is a dream in some people's mind. Being able to go to the dream racing track, the exotic track, and get into a Lamborghini and get into an Aston Martin. And what it seeds is you tell it either it's going to be a dream or it's going to be a reality. And it's really up to you.
Russell was running a contest. He was going to give his Ferrari F430. All I did was tell the world about this awesome book, and I got this Ferrari, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
That instills in you that necessity to really give to other people. I think we're over $25,000 right now for World Teacher Aid. Every single funnel that gets created, $1 gets donated to World Teacher Aid.
I think Russell was able to raise money for 2 schools, and that's huge.
They were all excited to be there and excited to be in that room.
Being an entrepreneur, I would say it's like the loneliest job in the world because it's kind of you and your thoughts, and you see other people, and you kind of connect, but not like in a real way with them. I like bringing people together. It just gives you the ability to be around other people who are like you, who think like you, and who believe like you. And for me, every time I get around good entrepreneurs, like my vision gets bigger.
You literally sit next to people who are doing $1 million, other people who are just brand new. Everyone who's here, they want to share and they want to see everyone else succeed.
I come to a live event where Russell can guide me, where people next to me are smarter than me.
And they share information that's absolutely priceless.
I wanted real ClickFunnels members to come and to speak. This funnel type Russell talked about, this is what I did, how I did it, and how I'm making 100 grand a month, and all of a sudden it like becomes real.
You get to hear more stories and more action plans, more principles to business.
In the trenches, what's working now, information.
You want results faster? Here's a faster hack. Go this way.
Here's the concept, and then boom, here's it working for someone just like you, and that was my favorite part.
It will accelerate your success like nothing else out there.
There's just been so many tools out there. Very few have been aggregated to do everything you need to do to create success.
ClickFunnels is an amazing software that allows you to sell a product online quicker and faster than anything you've ever seen in your life.
It's just a simple way of making pages that convert. You know, I mean, they're like business-oriented templates that already start beautiful, but that you can very easily customize. It doesn't seem like it takes an hour or two, it takes 3 hours, and I have a whole funnel built, and then I just go.
You know, in one day, you can get that idea, you can be live.
You can take that idea out of your head and you can actually make it real.
Authors, speakers, high-end coaching. We do marketing products for real estate agents.
T-shirts.
Every kind of person is here, and that's awesome. Whenever we think about hacks, tips, and tricks, right, it's like the fast way to do it.
It's about taking best practices from people who have already proven what works.
Funnel hacking isn't about stealing, it's about modeling and creating your own spin on something that's already working.
I think entrepreneurship is being hacked here.
It's people who are doing stuff. Every single session that I've been in has pretty much been a standing ovation.
The caliber of speakers, Marcus Lemonis, Sean Stevenson, Russell has those people here at the event.
Russell Brunson, he genuinely wants to make a difference in the lives of many, 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 many people.
He gets more excited about the success of others than he does about his own success.
He really cares about the bigger picture in terms of where this is all going.
He's helping tens of thousands of people grow businesses.
The event is where you get clarity and courage, to get confidence, to do what I know I need to do.
I was from Christchurch, New Zealand. No one knew me, and now I have a global audience.
Literally been the impetus between my business not even being to it being at a multi-six-figure level in 6 months.
Couldn't have done that with the yellow pages.
I see opportunity, I see all of the open potential and horizons that are at my fingertips.
It's just way more than the platform itself.
You can fast track your way to success.
My name is John Zachariah.
My name is Bonnie Faye.
This is
Deirdre White. I use ClickFunnels.
I use ClickFunnels. My entire company uses ClickFunnels.
And it's my favorite platform there is.
It will transform your life.
All it takes is one great idea, one big thing that's implemented, and everybody's just one funnel away from having the life they've always wanted.
You're just one funnel away from becoming a weight loss coach, becoming a bestseller, becoming a company with a foundation.
A funnel is what builds your business now.
I don't think there's a business alive that this would not be transformed by.
As soon as you walk into the hotel, you just feel this overwhelming energy.
One thing I can say about Funnel Hacking Live, I know this is going to be one of those hub spots where leaders in our industry come together, where the gurus all come together.
All of these people are hustlers. Everybody is working on something. So there's this camaraderie that you can't find anywhere else.
But all going after the exact same mission, which is impact and income.
The people in our industry doing so many different sorts of things, crushing it. Your beliefs are built up as far as what's possible. The go-getters, the people getting it done, the people that you feel like, man, I can never connect with them, you know, they're here.
You're not only getting people who all consume and play off the same playbook, they're showing you specific examples of it in action, and it's not theoretical. Everything actually works.
He brings in the best of the best. You get these people that are worth millions of dollars and they're just sharing with you their tips and their strategies, and you just grow exponentially. It's electrifying.
You got to be around people that are killing it so that you can continue to kill it and you can grow and do even greater things.
This 2 Comma Club, that basically means that I've sold over $1 million online.
So imagine you're getting this platinum plaque if you were a Grammy Award-winning artist who sold 1 million copies, but instead you sold $1 million through ClickFunnels.
In this room alone, there's literally over 100 millionaires. And if that doesn't speak to why everyone should be here, I don't know what will.
Russell gives you the education with his product.
He'll take complex things and he'll make them very easy to understand and, most important, implement.
He legitimately is here to help entrepreneurs create amazing lives.
He has the biggest heart.
But if you want to make money and you want to make a difference, this is the perfect event for you.
We are funnel hackers. Here to remind you one more time that your life you want, the marriage you want, and the family that you want is going to be fueled by the businesses that you build. You're only one funnel away.
When we're growing up, we learn a lot of things about life from life that are just not true.
6 days a week, 1 day off a week, 1 week off every 6 months.
And I wish I had someone to educate me that college was going to bring me food stamps.
Now I know some of you are feeling that indecision, that uncertainty. Well, today's the day that you change the world.
Start small by admitting that there's something that you want to do and you don't know how to do it.
Some of you are not willing to be bad at something long enough to get good at it.
After all the money invested, after all the time, after all the hope, I'm in the same place. But here's what's interesting: when you make a decision and when you become something else, it's much easier the next time.
Because we are crazy, agreed? That's what we do as entrepreneurs. We explore.
It is easy to assume that it's talent. I don't believe in talent. I believe in good habits.
If you know that your thing can truly help people, it's your duty to make sure as many people get it as possible.
It reminds them of their journey and where they're at and that they can keep moving forward. And they're counting on you.
And that's why we get up every morning and create a new reality, come back to the present and insist it becomes real.
You don't have to be me, but there is one game that you cannot lose in.
Like me, little old me, a stay-at-home mom, history major from college, didn't know anything about fitness.
1 year ago, I was sitting in your seat at the last Funnel Hacking Live.
And the lesson is like, this is your family and your new home.
It started with the people.
You have to take that identity as a funnel hacker and you have to say,
Magnitude of the pain will equal the magnitude of the reward. It has to be that way.
My funnels work because I work.
I honestly believe the entrepreneurs are the only people that can actually change this planet. We're the ones that are crazy enough to go out there and try to change things.
Like a good funnel hacker, I said,
I can, I will, end of story. That's what we're here to do today.
I meant what I said about you up there. I don't say things lightly. I have such respect for you, Russell. And what I love that you're doing now is you're teaching them to be givers and seeing the value of that and getting hooked on that. You know, to me, that's the most important thing. So congratulations, man.
Every single time you have a funnel that makes over $1 million, we're going to send you one of these amazing trophies to put on your wall. We decided to call it a True Comic Club Award.
Beneath the gaze of the Nashville sun, life at Funnel Hacking Live begins to take form. A sight not to be missed. Here we can see the migration of nearly 5,000 funnel hackers descend upon an unsuspecting hotel. For a brief period of 4 days, this habitat will dramatically change. The funnelless Hackiformis are a rare species, but ever growing by the thousands each passing day. Throughout the year, most of us do not see them, often questioning their existence if it weren't for their countless retargeting ads. They wake in the early morning hours and are usually found in a crowded gym, mentoring the curious young hacklings, rejoicing in the sun by the watering hole for a brief moment, and of course recording more ads because the backdrop is just stunning. They congregate in what's known to scientists as a joint venture, the outfit of choice being matching t-shirts and undergarments, signifying the bond that ties this dispersed breed together. This is amplified by a greeting ritual of an endless myriad of high fives, hugs, acro yoga, and handshakes. From the field to the bush. In the early hours, they descend upon one single enclosure. As the doors swing open, the hackers spring into motion, flocking at 30 miles per hour in a race towards seat supremacy. Only the most spirited will lay claim to a coveted view. From there, they revel at the arrival of the alphas, who impart their wisdom from prior hunts. During this time, their feeding ritual is complex. Many subspecies survive on a diet of coffee and water, which often unintentionally creates a conflict of having to choose between absorbing knowledge and going to the bathroom. As the voyage comes to an end, they celebrate with a multitude of unpolished dance rituals. And whatever this is, a pleasing sensation. They have replenished their minds and spirits and are fit to return to the wild. FHL is a unique anthropological phenomenon, fit for the most peculiar of entrepreneurs. Those that have discovered that running a business without a funnel is just stupid.
because I thought this was a really, really awesome thing, new opportunity.
Here's to the crazy ones.
My funnels work because I work.
Entrepreneurs are the only people that can actually change this planet. Every day we have a chance to wake up and figure out what we're going to create, what we're going to make, whose lives we're going to change, which is the most exciting thing in the world.
Does this feel like a family reunion or what? I'm gonna ask you to listen, maybe like you've never listened before.
You would be making millions and reaching millions if you knew. That is how powerful this model is.
You guys have an unfair advantage by being a funnel hacker.
But here's the key, funnel hackers, listen up.
The more you understand behavioral psychology, the better marketers you'll be.
When it comes to my funnels, when it comes to my business, what are the facts of my fruit?
Just start. Your people will find you. As you find your voice, your people will find you. But you cannot find your voice until you start, until you begin, until you start moving forward.
Everything that you're learning here over the next couple days, just do it!
The energy at FHL is like nothing else you can imagine at a convention.
The crazy part that you'll find in any room when it comes to Funnel Hacking Live.
It's everything you could hope for. There's heart, there's family, there's community.
And you see Russell's face everywhere you go.
The men and women on stage with 2 Comma Club awards, 10X awards.
People are dancing on stage when you come in.
You're getting high fives on the way in.
That's why Funnel Hacking Live exists.
Like better than a nightclub.
There's a feeling to this room.
The energy is so powerful. There's 4,500 people here today that want to make a difference.
There's nothing like this audience.
People are running in, they're excited. And this is what funnel hacking does. Guys, you want to be here.
I went through probably 12 business tries, and they were all complete failures. I kept getting the questions from relatives, is this the one that you're gonna be successful with?
And I spent many years growing a few businesses and just struggling, feeling completely alone, isolated, my head down to the grindstone, hoping to figure out the way.
Finding ClickFunnels like a little boy finding a flashlight in the woods, lost at night. It's been a flashlight for us. It's brought us home.
Being in the same room with the software company and the teaching and the coaching that freed me from the bonds of debt, it was really, really emotional. It was intense.
I felt a little internal nudge.
I couldn't explain it. I knew if I got in the room at Funnel Hacking Live, things would change.
I didn't know what to expect. I was really excited to just see what this whole world is about.
I am a college student. The only reason I'm here is because I begged my parents to buy me the ticket for Christmas.
Getting here the first day, thinking like, this is an internet marketing conference. It was thousands of people.
From the moment you walk in the door, there's heart, there's family, there's community. It is like walking into your own ecosystem.
And I see all these individuals from different walks of lives, and they're just like, how are you? What's your name? What do you do?
Even though we're all coming from different businesses doing different things, you've never met somebody, but you have this commonality.
So much personality, so much expression, and people tie their hair different colors and wearing crazy suits.
People are dancing on stage when you come in early in the morning.
So I have a marketing degree, and I have no idea what I learned in it.
We have no marketing skills, no business skills of any kind.
Yeah, I got my whole money's worth off the first speech of the first day.
And I called my dad and I said, no, like this was worth more than my entire 5 years I spent.
Somebody asked me yesterday, they said, who was your favorite speaker? And I said, in regards to what?
Being able to get around 6, 7, 8, 9-figure earners, you can't put a price on that.
Russell's not just someone who's passionate about sharing. What he's done has just revolutionized the industry. And he's just on a mission to allow people to go faster.
What's the new thing? How does it work? How do we integrate it? How do we deploy it? How do we explain it to people?
It's not a possibility anymore, it's a reality.
When they describe ClickFunnels as a family, it doesn't make sense till you have been here.
To be around people who are just as crazy and obsessed as me.
There's 4,500 people here today that want to make a difference. It's mission and money, and you need them both.
That's what ClickFunnels really stands for. So the truth is amazing things happen when you're willing to do that.
You see possibilities that you never could have seen.
You can excel that business.
God, it's like, pinch me. Is this real? My life just changed. It's just fun.
It's a phenomenon.
It's an oasis, man.
It feels like family. It feels like home.
I just feel blessed to be able to be a part of it.
And the gift of that, you know, that's everything.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying this so far. I was watching during the break the comments and everything. It's so much fun. I think between Facebook and YouTube, there's almost 5,000 people that have been watching this live. And then there's also another, who knows, couple thousand on like the ClickFunnels page where they're embedded. Anyway, it's crazy. So we got the equivalent of, so Funnel Hacking Live is coming up, as you guys know, in less than a month. Like there's gonna be almost 5,000 people in that room. That's the equivalent of how many people are watching this live right now, which is insane. So thank you for hanging out and watching that. And as I was eating lunch right here, I was watching all of the old videos from Funnel Hacking Live, and just got me really excited for like less than a month from now to be hanging out with most of you guys in Nashville for the next Funnel Hacking Live. So if you don't have your tickets yet, what are you waiting for? All right, so that was session number 1. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. I can't see it right now, but tonight I'm gonna go through and spend like 5 hours reading them and hopefully making myself feel good about myself. Or if you guys hated it, then I might feel bad about myself. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Anyway, a lot of the core concepts that are just so vital for people to understand, like who's your dream customer, where are they congregating, what's the hook, story, and offer, you're gonna grab them, and where we're gonna take them. So this next session, we're gonna be talking more about a concept called the value ladder. And so it's gonna be a lot of fun, but this is where you take them. How do you serve them at the highest level? So that's kind of the game plan where we're gonna go. So I'm gonna do, just like I did a second ago, I'm gonna go on stage, I'm gonna be like, welcome to session 2 of Funnelology. So, excuse me, that's what's gonna be happening. Yeah, if anybody shows up while, just randomly, let them know. If they're like, what's happening, just comment down below, let them know that we're filming a live course and they have a chance to see behind the scenes as it's going live. We're not gonna be, again, as soon as these go off the air, we're gonna pull them offline, and then they're gonna be a course here in the next couple months. But they're live today, and then tomorrow at the same time, I'm gonna be doing sessions 3 and 4, and then Saturday, sometimes session 5 and 6. We're gonna go deep into the value ladder. So it's gonna be awesome. So make sure you make the time. It's gonna be awesome. So with that said, anything else before I jump up? We good? All right. I'm going to go jump on stage and get this party started. And we'll see you guys in like 5 seconds. It's the awkward transition part. Okay. Hey everybody, this is Russell Brunson. Welcome back to module number 2 of the Funnelology training course, the new art and science of funnel building. I hope you guys enjoyed the first module and that you've got a lot of ideas so far to help you understand the core concepts, some of these core fundamental concepts that will help you to be able to understand funnels, right? Like who is your dream customer? Where are they congregating? How do you create a hook, a story, offer to grab those people? And then the next step is how do we get those people a result? And so that's what this whole session is about is now you've got this person, you've done all the work, right? You figure out exactly who they were, you found where they were at, you hooked them, you got their attention, you told them a story, you made them an offer and they're like excited. Now what? Okay, now what most businesses do, unfortunately, is they sell somebody something and then they hide like, I hope the person doesn't see me again, right? That's not the way it should be. Okay, after somebody comes into your world, this is the beginning of a relationship, not the end. Okay, that's the difference between businesses that are successful and businesses that fail. Businesses that fail are ones who are they're transactional, like, I got your money, I'm out. I got your money, I'm out. Okay, I don't ever want to be in a business that's transactional. I want to be in a business that's relationship-based, right? Somebody comes in, they buy something, and I'm going to give them value. They're going to enjoy the relationship. And if I do it right, they can continue to follow me on this path. Because, if you think about like the goal of business is not so much to make money as much as it is to change somebody's life. Like what's the result, what's the product, the service, the things you can do to change that person's life. And we start looking at it through that lens, it shifts everything. So it'll make more sense as we go a little deeper in here how that all works. But so I'm gonna jump right in. So session number 2 again is called the value ladder. This is again a core concept I taught initially in the .com Secrets book. And it's so fundamental behind everything we talk about inside of funnel building. Like understanding this core concept will make everything else simpler as we kind of go through this. So a couple core principles to understand before we dive in. This is my mentor, Dan Kennedy, one of my initial mentors and someone who I have tons of respect for. To this day, of everybody's stuff I've ever studied and I continue to study, I still spend the most time with Dan. And Dan said something amazing. He said, ultimately, the business that can spend the most money to acquire a customer wins. Okay, so everything we're talking about in this session is all based on this principle, understanding that ultimately the business that can spend the most money to acquire a customer wins. Okay, so that's the job, that's the goal, that's what we're trying to do here. And funnels give you the ability to spend way more money to acquire a customer, but before you can have a funnel, you got to figure out like where are you taking people. Okay, and so before we can get to funnels, we got to start mapping out this piece of it, which is called the value ladder. Now, let me kind of walk you through this process. So this is how the value ladder works. So this right here is value. This right here is price. Okay, so if you look at these axes here, I started thinking about like my dream customers. So I want to start with this. Like, if you could really transform and change somebody's life at the highest level, and if money didn't matter, right? Only thing matters is that you're going to get somebody and you're going to change their life. What would that look like? I think about me in the funnel world. Like the way that I could do that is like, let's say the way that I could change life the most is, let's say I found you, right? And I say, look, I'm gonna have you fly to Boise. So I pay for a flight, you fly over here to Boise, you get here, my entire team, I'm gonna sit here and we're gonna film your product up here, and then my team's gonna design your funnel, we're gonna drive traffic, we're gonna do everything for you. Like that'd be the best possible thing we could offer somebody, right? And so that's at the top of the value, right? So the value is really, really high. Like this is the most insane value ever, where Russell does the entire thing for you, okay? Now, obviously, if I'm going to do that, the problem is it's going to cost a lot, right? Because I got to pay for your flights and your hotel and then the space and my team to film videos and edit videos and to build your funnel and to write your copy, like all the different pieces that go into that, right? So it's going to cost a lot of money, right? So the value is high, but the price is high as well, right? But in a perfect world, this is what I would sell everybody, right? That's so I could serve somebody at the highest level, okay? So that's kind of the beginning part of a value ladder, understanding that. Now, I always tell people, like, imagine if you just saw me for the first time ever. We just met. Hi, I'm Russell Brunson. I know I look like I'm 11 years old, but I'm actually this funnel nerd, and I'm really good at things like that. And if you pay me $1 million plus 30% of all sales come through your funnel, I will build you a funnel. I'll fly out here. My team will do all the work. What do you think? You'd be like, wait, what? Did you say $1 million? No, $1 million plus 30% of all revenue you ever make from that funnel or any lead that you sell after that funnel. That's what I charge for this. You'd be like, you're insane. You look like you're 11 years old. I'm not giving you $1 million cash that hopefully you'll build me a funnel that might work, right? Because it's too high. Like most people are going to say no to that offer because why? Because so far we haven't received any value. Like you have no relationship, like why would I pay this person $1 million? This makes no logical sense, right? So in a perfect world, I would just sell my best thing. In reality, that's hard because of that, right? Because the price is so high. So what we do instead is we build what we call a value ladder. Okay, so the way a value ladder works is I start down here and I offer something where the value is good, but the price is low, right? So this is like a small price. This is like your big price. It gets expensive, and price, value goes up here as well. So over here, let's just say I came to you and I said, hey, you should buy a copy of my book. It's called .com Secrets. It's amazing, right? And so this is the bottom of the value ladder. And you're like, okay, that looks awesome. I'm like, oh, it is. Trust me. Okay, so this is a book. So the thing is this, it's free, just covers like $7.95 shipping handling. So the price is low, the value is good. You get the book in the mail, you read it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so great. This book's amazing. I got so much value from this. Then guess what happens inside your mind? You're like, that is awesome. I got so much value, I want more. What else does Russell have, right? And so you start looking, you're like, what else does Russell have? And all of a sudden you start looking, and us humans, we always do this. We naturally ascend up and we want more stuff. You start looking like, well, this book was good. What else does Russell have? And so you say, well, the next step is he's got this over here. It's more expensive. It's more expensive here, but you get more value. So maybe this is like, you get a home study course, right? So say home study course, right? So you go through home study course, you go through, you're like, that was amazing. That was awesome. You're like, well, what's the next tier? And like, oh, if you think that was good, you should come to Funnel Hacking Live because the price is more expensive, but there's more value. So come to FHL. And then you can go through this tier, and eventually you get a spot where you're like, I'm going to give Russell $1 million. Because I provided value at every single step along this value ladder. And so when the time you get there, you're like, man, I made this much money here, and this much money here. Like all along the way, they're more likely to just say yes to your higher end offers. Okay? You think about this, just human psychology. Like this isn't just true in business, it's true in all things in life, right? I know in session 1, I gave you guys an awkward example of me dating, which was really awkward for me to explain, and probably worse for you guys to listen to. But I'm gonna give you another one. So imagine the value ladder when you meet someone for the very first time, right? So I met my wife, and I was like, dang, she is cute. If I'd walked up initially and be like, hey, do you want to get married and have babies? She'd be like, what? Like, you're a creep. And she would have ran away, right? So I didn't do that, luckily. Instead, I was like, okay, I'm making her offer. Colette, I want to take you on a date, and if we do on this date, here's the offer. And I create this offer with a whole bunch of value, and I tell it to her, and she's like, all right, we'll go on a date with you. I'm like, sweet, right? She took the no-brainer offer right here, the equivalent of like a book. Like, I'll give you $7.90. I'll give you $10 to try out a book. Maybe it's good. We'll find out. She goes on this date. We have an amazing time. It's a great experience. And then what happens naturally? If I get value, she gets value, we'll have value this thing. Then naturally she's gonna want more. And I'll be like, hey, that was really fun. She's like, yeah, I did have a good time. Like, hey, do you want to go on a date next week? She's like, yeah, I would love to. And all of a sudden it moves to the next step, right? And then maybe the next week on a date, and then the doorstep, I give her a kiss, and then both get value. Like, that was awesome. Then it goes to the next thing. And eventually, somewhere down the line, I say, hey, do you want to get married? And let's have a bunch of kids together. She's like, I would love to. And we get married. Now we got 5 kids together. Okay, but I didn't lead with that, right? You lead down here, you bring somebody and you provide value, and people naturally want to send up your value ladder. So the same way it happens in relationships is the same way it happens in business. That's what's like core to understand. So that's what the value ladder is we're taking somebody on this journey, right? Somebody comes in, like from last module, they see the hook, the story, the offer, they come in, they get the bait, they buy the book. We go on a first date, whatever the equivalent is for your business. They come into your clinic and you adjust them, or they come in for free teeth cleaning. Like something happens, they come in. Now it's like we've started the relationship. Again, this is not the end. So many transactional businesses think that this is the business, this is the end. Okay, and it's like, no, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the relationship. Now it's like, how do I provide value? How do I take them up here? Okay, and so to do this correctly, you start thinking about your business a little bit differently. Okay, and that's why I'm going to go deep into here with this whole value ladder presentation. So here's kind of a doodle of what a value ladder looks like. I'm going to share some examples of value ladders I've been through, and I want you, as I tell you this, to start thinking about it. Okay, and the more you get used to understanding these things, the more you're gonna start like seeing them all the time. Whenever I tell people this the first time, it's like a magic trick, and then they're like, I get messages on Instagram and Facebook like, Russell, I went through the coolest value ladder today. Like, check this out. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. We all geek out together. It's fun. So one of the first times I ever saw this was right after my wife and I just got married. I started this company, and at the time, it was just me, and I was selling stuff, and then I was like, I need a hired employee. So I hired my first employee, my second employee, and then we had a handful of people, and they asked me today, they're like, hey, do we get benefits? I'm like, I don't know what that means. I think the benefit of hanging out with me is pretty awesome, right? And they're like, no, that's not awesome. I'm like, what do you mean benefits? And they're like, well, in a real company, there are we get dental insurance and health insurance, things like that. And I'd never had a job before, so I didn't know how that works. So I was like, oh, let me figure it out. So eventually we figured out a way to get dental insurance for everyone. That was our first big benefit. So we got dental insurance, and then I got a postcard in the mail that was like, hey, coming for a free teeth cleaning. I was like, oh my gosh. So this dentist had a postcard that said free teeth cleaning. I got in the mail. I was like, okay, I have dental insurance now. I get free teeth cleaning. I'm in. So I remember I went to the dentist, went for my free teeth cleaning, took the card in there. They went and cleaned my teeth. I was receiving value. I'm like, this is really, really great. And as I'm getting my teeth cleaned, I remember the dentist asked me something, or maybe it was a hygienist. I can't remember exactly. It's been a little while. But they basically asked me, they said, so do you smoke or do you drink coffee? I was like, no. Why? Like, oh, well, your teeth were kind of yellow, so I assumed maybe you're a smoker or you drink coffee. I'm like, wait, what? My teeth are yellow? They're like, yeah, but that's okay. If you want, like, we have a teeth cleaning kit. We could, like, give it to you and you can clean your teeth. I'm like, oh, yes, like, please, like, yes, give me a teeth cleaning kit, right? Teeth cleaning kit. And so they said, they told me about that. I said, yes, give me the thing. They upsold me, boom, and I got the teeth cleaning kit, right? I moved up the value ladder. I spent more money, price went up, and I got more value. Then they're cleaning a little while later and said, hey, did you have braces in your kid? I'm like, yeah, I did. How can you tell? Like, oh, well, your bottom teeth are crowding, your top are kind of shifting a little bit. I was like, wait, what? Like, yeah, but it's like, don't stress about it. If you want, there's Invisalign, there's retainers, things like that we can do. And I'm like, well, tell me about that. Tell me about those kind of things. And eventually, back then I got a retainer. Recently, I got Invisalign to help straighten up my teeth, right? And boom, there's like I don't even know how much it costs, $3,000 thing there. And did I get mad? It's like, no, the price went up, but I received more value. Now I got white teeth, I got straight teeth. Okay, and luckily for me, I didn't have to have cosmetic dentistry. But that's like the next step, right? You get cosmetic dentistry and you move people up this value ladder. So if you look at the typical value ladder for a dentist, here's right here, right? Comes with teeth cleaning, and there's whitening, and there's retainer and Invisalign, there's cosmetic stuff. And they have a continuity program built in as well, where every single 6 months you come back for new teeth cleaning, new teeth cleaning, new teeth cleaning. Okay, so this is the value ladder of a dentist. And this is a pretty established thing, right? There are more advanced markets that understand these principles inherently, and they have them set up, and they do them. And dentists are one of the great examples of that, right? They do it over and over and over again. Okay, so that's the value ladder for a dentist. Okay, and I want you to start thinking about different value ladders, okay, that you've been through. Okay, here's the value ladder for an author, speaker, coach, consultant, okay? You've probably seen this live. You've come into my world at all, or other speakers or authors or things that you've tried to lead, right? A lot of times they come in with a book offer. Then from there they send it to a home study offer. Then maybe there's a live event, and there's a mastermind, right? And there's this ascension that goes up, where the value goes up and the price goes up. Okay, one of my favorite examples of this are Stacy and Paul Martino. They're some of my Inner Circle members who recently moved to Boise, Idaho, which is awesome. And Stacy actually spoke at last Funnel Hacking Live about value ladder. And I had her speak because they have one of the best value ladders I've seen in our community. But also she had a really unique way of teaching value ladder. She called her value ladder the yellow brick road. Okay, and she said, if you think about this, she's like, every single customer who comes to you, they have an Oz that they want, right? You guys are here listening to me because you want to grow your companies through funnels, right? You want to make more money. You want to get more customers. Like, that's your Oz, right? So the value ladder is me taking you on this journey to the Wizard of Oz, okay? And so she talked about the yellow brick road, and then she showed hers, and this is like their yellow brick road, right? If you look at this image, it's so awesome. Like, it starts down here with Dorothy, and then it moves up to Glinda the witch, and then the people on the journey, and like this whole thing taking their customer to Oz. Okay, so this is kind of their path she showed at Funnel Hacking Live. And then you check this out. This is their company, right? They come in and there's a free web class. They move to their Relationship Breakthrough Quick Start, and then their retreat, and their level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Like, this is their yellow brick road to Oz. Okay, so I kind of doodled it out so you can see it inside of our context. This is their relationship development value ladder. Okay, and right now they just recently launched a new tier of the value ladder, a free tier that moved down one level. They've dropped down, they've got their podcast and some free offers. From there, it sends people up to the 14-day boost challenge. And from there, their quick start home study. And then from there, relationship breakthrough retreat. And from there, relationship coaching program. Okay, so they're sending people through this relationship. Okay, it's not a transactional business where someone comes in once and they leave. They come and say, look, you're a customer of ours now. We want to serve you at the highest level. Like, what else can we do? What else can we do? What else can we do? This is why it's so vitally important in the session we did, session number 1. We talked about finding your dream customer and finding somebody that you love to be around, that you're obsessed with, you want to serve them at all levels. Because if you get the right person, this part of your business becomes so much fun. Every morning you wake up like, how else can I serve them? How else can I serve them? Okay, this whole entire training we're doing right now all came out of a question of like, the new year's starting. A lot of our community is struggling still with the core fundamental principles of funnel building. Like, what do? Well, let's do a course called Funnelology. It'll be amazing. We'll do it live over 3 days, and then we'll turn to a course later, and boom, now we're here, right? Because it's always with me being obsessed with you guys, my dream customers, people I actually care about. So for Stacy and Paul, they're helping people that have relationship problems. Okay, they've got a really cool process. Those who don't know, they've helped save over 10,000 marriages, and they do it in a way it's very unique. It's not couples counseling. In fact, they say that if you go into counseling, the two people are involved, it always falls apart. Okay, it's where a relationship transformation where just one person's involved. So they bring people in to come listen to their podcast and listen like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. They tell their own stories. They break false beliefs. They break false epiphanies. They provide value. And they're like, hey, if you like this stuff, come jump into our 14-day boost challenge. Boom, they come up. Okay, and then they're thinking, how else can we serve these people? We love these people. We want to help their marriages. We want to help their relationships. What else do we do? Oh, let's make a home study program. Oh, let's do a live event. Okay, and they kept creating these things to send people up towards Oz. Okay, so that's the power of a value ladder, you guys. When you get the right dream customer, the value ladder becomes fun. It's just how else can we serve these people? How can we change their life? What's their Oz? Okay, the more you think about what's the Oz of my customer, the more this becomes easier. Like, oh, well, this is the process I'm going to be taking people through. Okay, this is my buddy's Chad Woolner. He's a chiropractor, and when I first met Chad, his business was kind of struggling, and it was funny because we were always talking about marketing and funnels and all these kind of things. He's like, well, how does it work in my practice? And I kind of started going just to see how his whole process worked. And a customer would see an ad, they'd come in the clinic, he would do adjustment, like a $50 adjustment. It takes like 3 minutes to adjust somebody and then send them home. And hopefully the person will come back next week and get another adjustment. Like that's kind of the process of their business. I was like, that's what chiropractors do, I guess. Like I didn't really know. I'd never been around chiropractors before I really met Chad. And so that was kind of the business as I knew it. And I remember about the time, this is probably before the London Olympics, I had a crazy hair and I decided I wanted to try to compete for the Olympics. And so instead of doing normal people do and like plan things out, I called up the Olympic Greco wrestling coach and I offered him a job, moved him to Boise, Idaho, bought a facility, hired all the guys who were wrestling on the Olympic Greco team, and flew them to Boise, gave them housing and shelter, and gave them jobs. And I was like, all right, now I can compete for the Olympics. I got the whole team here. And so we started competing, and it was really fun. And we did it for about 7 or 8 months. And there's a whole other backstory behind that of why I never made it to the Olympics and why we ended up shutting it down. But in that interim, while we were all training, and I was training and trying to figure things out, we used to have a chiropractor who'd come every single day after practice and adjust all of the wrestlers. And I remember one day, the chiropractor, she wasn't able to make it, and she called the guys like, hey, I can't come in because of whatever thing. And they're like, oh, no worries. And so Justin Reese, one of the guys on the wrestling team, he literally opened up YouTube and started watching YouTube videos like how to do a chiropractic adjustment. And he watched 2 or 3 videos, and he got done. He's like, okay, I know how to do it. And he got all the guys lined up, and he started adjusting everyone on the team. And I'm watching and amazed. I'm like, first off, is he going to kill these people? Like, is he going to break their neck? Like, he's a big, he took 3rd in the world. He's guy's like a big, huge, probably one of the strongest, scariest men you'll ever meet if you met him on the street. Also like the nicest guy ever. But like he's adjusting all these people. I'm like, we're either gonna have someone, going having some problems or something's gonna happen. But he adjusted everybody and everyone's fine afterwards. I remember that night I called up Chad, Dr. Woolner. I was like, dude, this is the funniest thing. And I knew he was gonna be mad. But I told him, I was like, Justin's watched a video about how to adjust people and he adjusted everybody. And I was kind of laughing and he got so mad. He's like, first off, he shouldn't be adjusting someone without an education, like all these things. I'm like, no, I know, I totally get it. You were completely right. He was stupid. He should not have done that. But dude, I want to point something out to you real quick. The only thing that you sell right now, Justin was able to learn in about 10 minutes on YouTube, and now he's able to do it as well. I said, when you were in medical school doing all the stuff that you did to become a chiropractor, did you learn anything else besides how to do that one little thing? He's like, yeah, we learned how to do this and like nutritional things and how to do this and like all these things. It's going on and on and on and on. And after about 5 minutes of spilling all the stuff he learned that he was capable of doing, I stopped him. I said, then why are you only selling one thing? Why are you only selling adjustment? Like, what other value could you actually provide your dream customers when they come in the door? And he's like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that before. We started talking about like, well, what else can you do? Like, well, I could make a wellness program. I could do this. He started looking like, what could he create here? What could he create down here? And also shifted from like, all we do is we sell adjustments. Okay, this is a typical chiropractic value ladder. All we sell is adjustments. To like, what other value can you provide your dream customers? They're coming to you. They're trying to get relief. What's their Oz? Okay, they're trying to get healthier, trying to get happier, trying to lose weight, trying to gain weight. Like, what's the Oz for your dream customers coming in? Now let's create different products, different value, different things on the value ladder to help them to get to their end goal. And so from that, Chad created a whole bunch of things. Created free information, massages, health assessments, wellness programs, a whole bunch of things, and build out a whole value ladder. And now Chad's able to spend more money to acquire a customer than any of the other chiropractors in town. Okay, because now he's not just selling a $50 adjustment, he also sells a $5,000 thing and a $2,000 thing and a whole bunch of other things as well. Okay, see how that works? Okay, so that's the process of a value ladder. So the question is like, what does your value ladder look like? Okay, the first thing I want to talk about to help you understand this is, as you're talking about what your value ladder look like, is you got to figure out the Oz for your customer. Right? We're always thinking about like, what's the product we're going to sell? What's the offer we're going to make? And it's like, those are parts of what this game is about. But the real game is, what's the Oz? What's the end story? What's the big result we're trying to get for somebody? okay? And so we do that by creating what we call a value ladder mission statement, VLMS, okay? And this was not in the original .com Secrets book, but as we started building more companies over the last 5 or 6 years, we found out how vitally important this was, and now it's in the new version. You guys will see when you have a chance to read it. But what a value ladder mission statement is this is the mission statement of your company. A lot of times people will come to me and they want me to invest in their business, and they'll send me like, here's my business plan. It's like 800 pages of just like fluff about like, oh, the industry, blah, blah, and all these things. I'm like, can you doodle it on a napkin? And if it doesn't look like a value ladder, you should probably just leave. Okay, like this is this is your business model for me, right? Like someone's gonna come in and then we're gonna send them to here and to here to here, and then the whole thing as a whole is like your value ladder mission statement is like, what's the end goal of this whole thing, right? If I'm in business trying to sell people something, make money, like I'm not in a good business, right? If I'm in a business to help people to do something, to get to a certain odds, that's the kind of business that actually has meaning and value in the world beyond just making transactions, right? So this is what the value ladder mission statement looks like, okay? We help our dream customers to get this result through a certain vehicle, through your specific vehicle, okay? So if I was a dentist, I'd say something like this. We help families in our community, okay, that's our dream customers, to increase their confidence, that's the result they want, through creating a beautiful smile they're proud to share. Okay, it can be an example of a value ladder mission statement. So everything we now do inside of our business comes back to that. Okay, is this offer, is it helping families in our community increase their confidence through a beautiful smile? Invisalign, yes, it does. It makes total sense. This fits inside our value ladder. Okay, a lot of people add things to their value ladder that they think they put in there because it's going to make them more money. It's like, but this doesn't fit into your mission statement of your value ladder. This is the mission statement of your whole company. Like, if it doesn't fit in this thing, you got to get rid of it. In fact, this year, you probably noticed we've cut a lot of things out of ClickFunnels, software features, coaching programs, a whole bunch of stuff that we did in the past we got rid of because it wasn't fueling the value ladder mission statement, okay? So here's the value ladder mission statement for ClickFunnels. We help, who are my dream customers? Visionary entrepreneurs. Those are my dream customers. We help them do what? Okay, the Oz is to grow their companies, okay? And they can grow their companies a lot of different ways. They can do it through different channels or vehicles, but I want them to grow their companies through my specific vehicle, which is a sales funnel. Okay, so I help visionary entrepreneurs to grow their companies through sales funnels. That's the value ladder mission statement of my entire value ladder. So as I'm designing any product or program or service or software or everything comes back to like, does it fit into the mission statement of our company? If not, then it doesn't fit. There's not a point, there's not a purpose for it, okay? So we fulfill our value ladder mission statement through a whole bunch of stuff, through books, through online courses, through live events, through software, through coaching, through mastermind groups. These are all things we do to help people to achieve our value ladder mission statement. Okay? If you look at our value ladder right now, it's very simple. Okay? I've had times in the past where my value ladder was super complex. We've called them value mazes sometimes, where even customers get lost going through different channels, different places. Over the last year, we've been simplifying and chopping and simplifying and chopping and simplifying and chopping. And for the most part, in fact, not all of this has been released yet, but at Funnel Hacking Live this year, the last step will be released. But this is our value ladder now. On the bottom tier, we've got a whole bunch of books, .com secrets, expert secrets, traffic secrets, lead funnel, like all of our front end books that people come in for a very low ticket, they receive value. If they like that, then we try to get them on the next step to, hey, if you thought .com secrets was good, you should try our software. It's called ClickFunnels. It's amazing. It's $97 a month. You use this to build your funnels. Okay? If they like ClickFunnels, our next goal is to send them up to the next one, which is ClickFunnels Platinum. And a lot of you guys are in ClickFunnels Platinum. It's $297 a month. You get ClickFunnels, but you get an unlimited account at ClickFunnels. Plus, you get Funnel Flicks and all the training. And it's the next level, next tier. Okay, so that's the next year. If you go there, you get a bunch of value, and you're like, this is amazing. I got all this training, all this programs, everything, plus all the software upgrades. Then hopefully you'll send it to the next level, which is called ClickFunnels Collective, which is not live yet, so I can't tell you anything else about it. But it's amazing, I promise you that. Okay, but it's simple. Okay, your value ladder is only 8,000 steps. Ours has 4, and we're a company that's well over $100 million a year. Okay, simple value ladders that you can take people through. Okay, all right. So your value ladder is your business plan. Okay, as you look at this. Your value ladder comes in, there's free offers, there's front-end offers, there's middle value ladder offers, and there's back-end offers. Okay, now I'm gonna go a little deeper into this because for each tier of the value ladder, there's different kind of funnels you use. I'm gonna talk about it in a minute, but the first thing this is the caveat that every time I talk about value ladders, I get a little nervous about, is I show people this and they're like, oh my gosh, this makes total sense. So what that means is I'm gonna create a huge coaching program, I'm gonna create a live event and a home study course and a book, and they get there and they're like, this is everything I create, this is my business model. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of stuff to create. And they go and they try to launch all these things at once. And they're creating coaching programs and mastermind groups and home study courses and events and everything, and they never get out the door. Okay? The value ladder is your business plan. This is where we're going. This is not where you are today. Okay? You can ask any of the people that are in my inner circle for the last 5 or 6 years as I was running it. I always told people, I said, look, when you come in Inner Circle, you're allowed to pick one tier of the value ladder, and you're allowed to only focus on that one offer, that one funnel until it's made at least $1 million. After it's made $1 million, then you're allowed to do funnel number 2. Okay, because all of them have the same problem. I'm guessing you do as well. What happens? They get all excited, like, this is amazing. And they build a funnel, they launch it, they make like 30 grand or 100 grand. Like, this is awesome. They make another funnel, they launch it, make 20, 30 grand, they make another one, they keep doing it, and then companies never grow. Okay? And so for all of them, I came in, like most people when they first came in the room, first thing we do is we kill 90% of their funnels. We say focus on just one, and then that's the only one you're allowed to focus on until it's made $1 million. As soon as you get 2 Comma Club award, then you can do your second funnel, but not until it's hit 2 Comma Club. And they're always like, feel handcuffed at first and then free later on. Realize, oh my gosh, I just got to be creative and figure out more ways to sell this. So that's the big key, is that for all you guys, we're not going to have you do all of these. You're going to pick one, and you're going to focus on that until it hits 2 Comma Club. Then you're allowed to do number 2. Okay? So this is the business plan. This is saying, I know I'm going here right now, okay, but where do I start? For most people, I recommend starting in the middle of the value ladder. Okay? And I'll show you guys what those look like here in a second, but it's easier to start there. That means something that's like, $500, maybe $2,000, like something like that, selling through a webinar or a presentation, or I'll show you the funnels here in a little bit. But starting there in the middle, have that be your first funnel and your focus to your first $1 million is usually the best. Then for example, when we launched ClickFunnels, guess what we did? We had a $1,000 version of ClickFunnels. I did a webinar, at least one a week, usually 3 or 4 a week, every single week for an entire year, until we'd done over $10 million in sales. And then I went down and I launched the .com Secrets book. Okay, I didn't launch them all at once, okay, for so many reasons. One is then your ad team's like driving ads this and this and this, and it's just everything is watered down. You don't succeed because you're not focused. If you focus on one funnel till it's $1 million, that's the most likely to be successful, okay? So don't get stressed out looking at my value ladder and be like, I'm going to create all this crap. Look at it and say, this is the future over the next 5 years, what I'm going to create. Okay, for the next year, I'm just creating this one. I'm creating a webinar, I'm creating a course, or I'm creating a whatever. I'm going to focus all my energy, all my effort on that one funnel. I'm going to focus on it. Okay, Russell keeps saying, I'm one funnel away, I'm one funnel away, I'm one funnel away. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. Maybe he's coached thousands of people to the 2 Comma Club. Maybe I'm just going to pay attention to him and just focus on the one till you get 2 Comma Club. And then it's like, I have all this built up, all this built up like demand for something now as I release the next thing. Okay, Liz Benny's a good example of this. When Liz first came into our world, she came in right before ClickFunnels launched. She was one of our very first people ever on the platform. Still one of my favorite people to this day. And Liz launched her very first webinar, and she focused on it, and she sold it, and she sold it, and she sold it. It was a $1,000 course until she got over $1 million. And she passed 2 Comma Club, and I was like, okay, now, like, what do you want to create now? She's like, my people are freaking out. I'm like, what do they want? She's like, they want a coaching program. I'm like, how do you know? She's like, because they keep yelling at me every single day. And I said, yes, now's the time you release the back end of your value ladder. Because there's so much built up demand and attention. People want it, and that's easy to get like, hey, I got a $25,000 coaching program. Who wants in? And boom, overnight, you do more money in one email than you did the entire prior year to it, right? I remember Justin and Terry Williams were in the real estate market. Did the same thing. They had a $2,000 or $3,000 course. They're selling like crazy. And then they came to our first Inner Circle meeting. I said, you guys should launch a $25,000 course. And remember, they looked at me and said, well, nobody will buy a $25,000 course. And I was like, how much did you spend to be in this room? At the time, Inner Circle was 25 grand. She's like, and I can't remember, Justin or Terry was like, oh, we paid 25 grand. I'm like, okay, so you paid for it. So now you just got to believe other people pay you for it. And so that night they went to the hotel room, they sent out an email, and I think they got 16 people to pay them 25 grand from the one email, okay? But if they would have just started with that, they emailed their non-existing list to run Facebook ads to their $25,000 program, it probably wouldn't have happened. Why? Because people, it's going straight to here. They didn't build up any value yet. You start something like this, you build up the value, then you're like, oh, here's a coaching program. These people will go crazy for it. Okay, that's why I always tell people, like, when you start your company, it's like you have a big boulder and you're pushing it up a mountain, you're pushing it, it's like harder, it's like hard. So you get to the top of the mountain, then it goes over the edge, then it starts taking off like crazy, right? The hardest thing is getting your first 2 Comma Club because you're putting in all the effort, you're pushing this thing, you sell after sell, but you're at the top, you got 1,000 customers paid you $1,000. Now it's like, here's a coaching program, and boom, overnight 30 people pay 25 grand. It's like, whoo, it takes off. And then the next thing you sell becomes really, really easy. So from 0 to $1 million is the hardest part. After $1 million, it's easier and easier and easier as you start growing your company, okay? But the hardest part is this phase right here, okay? But so that's why you got to focus here. If you're trying to do this and launch this and write a book and do this all at the same time, none of them are going to work. So one funnel till you pass $1 million, okay? Now, when do you come back and start adding these other things, okay? What happens is eventually if I have, let's say it's a webinar funnel or a presentation funnel, I'm driving all the ads to it, eventually you start getting ad fatigue. Okay, where we had that same thing. We sold over $10 million in ClickFunnels, and like the ads started fatiguing because so many people seen the ads. So that's when I said, okay, I need something new, a new hook to grab people's attention. let me come down the value ladder, and I'm going to launch a book. And we launched the .com Secrets book, and boom, that is when that one took off. Now people bought the .com Secrets book, and they had ascended up to the next thing. Okay, but I didn't start here. I started in the middle. So I would recommend for most of you guys to start in the middle of the value ladder. That is the core focus point. Get to $1 million in sales. Get your 2-column club award. Come on stage with me, Funnel Hacking Live. Get your award, and then after that, then either go up market, upstream, right? You do a high-end coaching program or high-end back-end offer, or go down and make front ends to get more people into your big one. Okay, but that's the smartest way strategically to use your value ladder. Okay. So I want to put that out before everyone stresses out. I'm like, I got to make 5,000 funnels, okay? You're just going to be doing one. Okay. All right, so there's the value ladder. The offer's the value ladder. Now, one thing you got to understand is that each tier of the value ladder here, there's different funnels to sell each tier, okay? So there's different types of funnels for each step in the value ladder, okay? So the bottom of the value ladder, okay, when I'm trying to get stuff here, I call these lead funnels. These are funnels where I'm getting leads to come into me, okay? Now there's a lot of types of lead funnels. I would say probably, I don't know the exact percentages on any of these things, so don't trust my percentage numbers over the next 5 minutes what I'm talking about. But I'd say 90% of all the people who are generating leads are doing it through one of these types of lead funnels. Either a traditional lead funnel, a survey funnel, or a summit funnel. This is what a lead funnel looks like. This is what a survey funnel looks like. This is what a summit funnel looks like. Okay, and by the way, tomorrow's first session, I'm going into lead funnels. I'm going to go deep into a lead funnel, a survey funnel, and a summit funnel. I'm going to show you how it works, show you each page what they do, show you some examples and case studies so you'll be able to see exactly how all these 3 types of funnels work. Okay, so that's the bottom tier is lead funnel. As you go up the value ladder, now someone's spending a little bit more money, because lead funnels, there's no money trading place. You're saying, give me your email address and I will give you this thing. That's the offer, right? Okay, so that's the first tier. We move to the next tier. This is I call them an unboxing funnel. Okay, an unboxing funnel is where the lower ticket things down here, right? So, for example, the 3 unboxing funnels that 90% of people use, again, I have no idea, but it's pretty much the majority of people use one of these 3 funnels for the unboxing funnels. It's a book funnel if you're an info product seller. It's a cart, so that's what a book funnel looks like. It's a cart funnel if you're selling e-commerce physical products. If you look at this, notice this. The book funnel and cart funnel look almost identical. There's one big difference I'll tell you about tomorrow between a book funnel and a cart funnel. It's a huge difference, but it's almost everybody misses it until I point it out and they're like, oh my gosh, are you serious? That's it. Okay, so that's the second session. The book funnel, cart funnel, and then challenge funnel. These are the 3 core unboxing funnels we use over and over and over and over again. Okay, as I show you guys these, you start looking at all my funnels, you're like, oh, that's all that Russell's doing, just those 3 funnels. Okay, so I'm going to go through tomorrow afternoon, after lunch, I'm going to go through those 3 funnels with you, the book funnel, the cart funnel, and the challenge funnel. Okay, so that's the unboxing funnels. Then the next tier of the value ladder, we come to the presentation funnels. Now this is again where most of you guys are going to start. Not everybody. Some of you guys will start unboxing funnels, and some of you will start presentations. Some of you guys will start phone funnels. But for the majority, I'd say 2/3 of you guys, I'd recommend starting at a presentation funnel. Okay, so presentation funnels, there's different kinds. There's sales letter funnels, they look kind of like this. Okay, there's webinar funnels, look like this, and there's product launch funnels. Auto webinar funnels. I slipped that in because they're similar. So there's webinar funnel, auto webinar funnel. And the last one there is product launch funnels. So the majority of people selling through presentation funnels is either the sales funnel, webinar funnel, or product launch funnel. So on Saturday morning, I'm going to go into all of those deep. I'm going to show you deep dives how they work, the intricacies between what happens to each page, what the scripts say, et cetera, et cetera. That's what's happening there in the presentation style funnels. Okay, and then the last type of funnel here on the back end are our phone funnels. This is where you're generating lead online and then you're taking them offline. You're calling them on the phone and things like that. This is what the phone funnels look like. And so on Saturday after lunch, I'll be showing you guys the phone funnels and going deep into that, how they work, the scripting, all those kind of things. Okay, so if you look at the value ladder, this is what the value looks like. The front of the value ladder are lead funnels. As you move up, they go to unboxing funnels. From there, they go to presentation funnels. And the back of the value ladder are our phone funnels. Okay, and so as you learn about these, I want you guys to understand these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. These 10 funnels constitute pretty much every funnel I use. Okay, people think I don't know. It's just funny. There's like a million things you could possibly do, but in reality, it's always one of these. Okay, if I'm trying to generate leads, I'm using one of these 3 funnels. I'm trying to do unboxing funnels to sell a low ticket thing. It's one of these funnels. If I'm doing more expensive things, I'm selling it through presentation funnels, and really expensive things through phone funnels. Okay, and so in the new .com Secrets book, you'll see that this is the core stuff we're teaching about. That's why I wanted to teach these things to you guys now, so you can look at these all and be like, okay, Russell said pick one funnel. I'm going to do, based on my type of business, I'm going to do a presentation funnel, and the one I like the most is product launch funnel. And I know this is the only funnel I need to focus on. I'm going to geek out on this. I'm going to spend the next year of my life focusing on this funnel and mastering it until I make $1 million. Okay? Or you're like, for my company, I'm selling physical products. I'm going to pick cart funnel. I'm going to do what Russell says. I'm going to focus on a cart funnel for next year until I hit 2 Combo Club. All my energy, all my efforts are going to be on cart funnel. You're going to focus on that and just master that. Okay? So my goal for you guys is to understand and learn all of them. Understand here's where we're going. Here's the value ladder. Here's the different funnels, each step of the value ladder, and then picking the one. Okay, that's my goal for this entire Funnelology event is for you to pick the one to focus on for the next 12 months of your life or more, whatever it takes to get you to the 2 Combo Club, and then just focus on it. Okay? If you focus on that one, that's how you're gonna be successful, because then you can focus your time, your energy, your effort. You can go funnel hack 20 people to have that type of funnel, see what they're doing, figure out the intricacies, figure out this and that, and like now it gives you something you can do and focus on and master and become great at. And that's really my goal. Okay? So that's kind of it for the value ladder presentation, guys. I know it wasn't super complex, but it sets up everything else that we're going to be doing. Okay. So again, the game plan is session 3 is going to be lead funnels. We can go deep in those 3 types of funnels. Session 4 is the unboxing funnels. We'll go deep there. Session 5 will be the presentation funnels. We'll go deep into there. And session 6 is going to be the phone funnels, and we'll go deep into there. That's what's going to be happening over the next 2 days. And so thank you guys so much for listening in on this session of Funnelology. And so what I want to do now is just kind of talk about, we'll cut from the actual training course and just talk to you guys back here. Can I come back down? Come back down. All right, so hope you guys had a good time today going through module number 1 and module number 2. If you guys enjoyed it, it would mean the world to me if you'd go and comment however you feel down below. I'm going to go back in my office now and spend the next 30 minutes just reading through the comments. So if you enjoyed it, leave a testimonial, leave your feedback, leave whatever you got of value, your biggest takeaway, your biggest aha. I would love to hear that. So post your biggest takeaway. Whatever you can post down below, it would mean the world to me. Some of you guys are on Facebook, some of you guys are on YouTube, some of you guys are on the ClickFunnels page. Wherever you're at, just post your biggest takeaway, your biggest aha, and it would mean the world to me. To end right now, I'm going to push play and kind of play the B-roll from the different Funnel Hacking Live videos again. And I'm showing you guys that for a couple reasons. Number one is we're less than a month away, and tons of you guys are coming to it, and I want to get you just pumped up and excited for what's about to happen. Of everything we do in our company to change people's lives, there's nothing that has as big of an impact as Funnel Hacking Live. And so I want you guys to be prepared. Those who don't have your tickets yet, hopefully it'll push you over the edge. You guys really should come there. It's less than a month away. We're going to be hanging out, and I want you guys to be there. If I could fly to your house and just sit in front of you and grab your shirt and just be like, look, if you want to be successful, the best gift I can give you is Funnel Hacking Live. That's what I would do right now. So pretend like I'm grabbing your shirt. You need to be at Funnel Hacking Live. If you're not there, you must hate money. That's the only logical explanation. That's it. I can't think of nothing else. I can't afford it. Okay, we'll go borrow some money from I don't know how to get there. Just Google it. It can't be that hard to get to Nashville. There's airplanes that fly in every single day. There's a way to get there, and you need to be there. We spent over $3 million putting on this event. Tony Robbins is coming. Ryan Holiday's coming. Prince EA's coming. Tons of speakers in our Funnel Hacking community is coming. I'm going to be there. It's going to be insane. So I just want to make sure that you guys can get there. So if you haven't made a decision yet, watch these videos and picture yourself sitting in the audience as you're there. And hopefully this foundational funnelology training is giving you guys a lot more ideas and helping you understand how these funnels can work in your business. As cool as this training is, when you're at Funnel Hacking Live and I have a chance to serve you there, I promise you that it'll be the best thing you ever experience. It's not like a typical marketing event. It's closer to a rock concert than a marketing event, but it'll be the thing I can do that can transform your business and transform your life at a higher level than anything else. It'll shortcut your success. It'll turn a decade worth of effort and it'll shrink it down to days. So please, if you can make it, come and can do it. Again, we'll keep the video, and then tomorrow we'll be getting started at 2 Eastern, which is 1 Central, which is noon Mountain Time, which is 11 Pacific. We'll get started with the next training modules. Again, I'll be going through lead funnels. We'll have a lunch break, and then we'll be doing unboxing funnels, and hopefully gives you guys a ton of ideas. So that's kind of game plan. So with that said, that's all I got. Thanks you guys for hanging out. And again, please comment your biggest aha down below. I'd love to read it and love to see. If you have any questions, feel free to message them down below as well. And if I can find it, maybe tomorrow I'll answer some questions in the morning as well about the secret formula and the value ladder that we talked about today. So with that said, I think we're going to keep the videos. Thanks you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
If I had to predict where I would be 1 year from the day I signed up, to join Russell's mastermind, I could never have predicted the growth. It has been a life-changing experience.
Funnel Hacking Live is an event that is put on by Russell Brunson, where he shares with internet entrepreneurs exactly how to accelerate their success by using a software that he created called ClickFunnels to create websites that actually make sales in a very easy way for people who are looking to succeed online.
ClickFunnels came out of nowhere. They took the marketplace by storm, just like Apple did when they first launched the iPhone. It was not a linear move anymore. It was a quantum move and improvement that opened up a gap to allow people just like you and me who are not technically savvy. We weren't born in the matrix, and we didn't have a chip implanted in our heads. We're not engineers or computer science majors. An opportunity to cut and decrease the time of stress and anxiety and suffering behind a keyboard. Trust me.
You can talk bad about my mama, but you cannot talk bad about ClickFunnels, because what ClickFunnels has done for my business, I can't even begin to tell you.
Russell's just make it so simple for anybody to just instantly get it.
So authentic.
One of the most genuinely nice individuals and human beings you will ever meet.
Breaks it down really easy.
He's just a risk taker, he's a mover and a shaker.
The first time I spoke with him, immediately I knew I was playing small.
We took these guys to an exotic car racing place.
What's better than getting in an exotic car? It's called dream racing, right? Like all it is a dream in some people's mind. Being able to go to the dream racing track, the exotic track, and get into a Lamborghini and get into an Aston Martin. And what it seeds is you tell it either it's going to be a dream or it's going to be a reality. And it's really up to you.
Russell was running a contest. He was going to give his Ferrari F430. All I did was tell the world about this awesome book, and I got this Ferrari, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
That instills in you that necessity to really give to other people. I think we're over $25,000 right now for World Teacher Aid. Every single funnel that gets created, $1 gets donated to World Teacher Aid.
I think Russell was able to raise money for 2 schools, and that's huge.
They were all excited to be there and excited to be in that room.
Being an entrepreneur, I would say it's like the loneliest job in the world, because it's kind of you and your thoughts, and you see other people and you kind of connect, but not like in a real way with them. I like bringing people together. It just gives you the ability to be around other people who are like you, who think like you, and who believe like you. And for me, every time I get around good entrepreneurs, like my vision gets bigger.
You're literally sitting next to people who are doing $1 million, other people who are just brand new. Everyone who's here, they want to share and they want to see everyone else succeed.
I come to a live event where Russell can guide me, where people next to me are smarter than me.
And they share information that's absolutely priceless.
I wanted real ClickFunnels members to come and to speak. This funnel type Russell talked about, this is what I did, how I did it, and how I'm making 100 grand a month, and all of a sudden it becomes real.
You get to hear more stories and more action plans, more principles to business.
In the trenches, what's working now, information.
You want results faster? Here's a faster hack. Go this way.
Here's the concept, and then boom, here's it working for someone just like you, and that was my favorite part.
It will accelerate your success like nothing else out there.
There's just been so many tools out there. Very few have been aggregated to do everything you need to do to create success.
ClickFunnels is an amazing software that allows you to sell a product online quicker and faster than anything you've ever seen in your life.
It's just a simple way of making pages that convert. They're like business-oriented templates that already start beautiful, but that you can very easily customize. It doesn't seem it takes an hour or two, it takes 3 hours, and I have a whole funnel built, and then I just go.
you know, in one day, you can get that idea, you can be live.
You can take that idea out of your head and you can actually make it real.
Authors, speakers,
high-end coaching. We do marketing products for real estate agents.
T-shirts.
Every kind of person is here, and it's awesome. Whenever we think about hacks, tips, and tricks, right, it's like the fast way to do it.
It's about taking best practices from people who have already proven what works.
Funnel hacking isn't about stealing, it's about modeling and creating your own spin on something that's already working.
I think entrepreneurship is being hacked here.
It's people who are doing stuff. Every single session that I've been in has pretty much been a standing ovation.
The caliber of speakers, Marcus Lemonis, Sean Stevenson, Russell has those people here at the event.
Russell Brunson, he genuinely wants to make a difference in the lives of many, 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 many people.
He gets more excited about the success of others than he does about his own success.
He really cares about the bigger picture in terms of where this is all going.
He's helping tens of thousands of people grow businesses.
The event is where you get clarity and courage, to get confidence, to do what I know I need to do.
I was from Christchurch, New Zealand, no one knew me, and now I have a global audience.
Literally been the impetus between my business not even being to it being at a multi-six-figure level in 6 months.
Couldn't have done that with the yellow pages.
I see opportunity. I see all of the open potential and horizons that are at my fingertips.
It's just way more than the platform itself.
You can fast track your way to success.
My name is John Zachariah.
My name is Bonnie Faye.
This is
Deirdre White. I use ClickFunnels.
I use
My
ClickFunnels.
entire company uses ClickFunnels.
This is my favorite platform there is.
It will transform your life.
Thank you for joining us on this trip, and we're looking forward to seeing you on board.
All it takes is one great idea, one big thing that's implemented, and everybody's just one funnel away from having the life they've always wanted.
You're just one funnel away from becoming a weight loss coach, becoming a bestseller, becoming a company with a foundation.
A funnel is what builds your business now.
I don't think there's a business alive that this would not be transformed by.
As soon as you walk into the hotel, you just feel this overwhelming energy.
One thing I can say about Funnel Hacking Live, I know this is going to be one of those hub spots where leaders in our industry come together, where the gurus all come together.
All of these people are hustlers. Everybody is working on something. So there's this camaraderie that you can't find anywhere else.
But all going after the exact same mission, which is impact and income.
The people in our industry doing so many different sorts of things, crushing it. Your beliefs are built up as far as what's possible.
The go-getters, the people getting it done, the people that you feel like, man, I can never connect with them, you know, they're here.
You're not only getting people who all consume and play off the same playbook, they're showing you specific examples of it in action, and it's not theoretical. Everything actually works.
He brings in the best of the best. You get these people that are worth millions of dollars and they're just sharing with you their tips and their strategies, and you just grow exponentially. It's electrifying.
You gotta be around people that are killing it so that you can continue to kill it and you can grow and do even greater things. This 2 Comma Club, that basically means that I've sold over $1 million online.
So imagine you're getting this platinum plaque if you were a Grammy Award-winning artist who sold 1 million copies, but instead you sold $1 million through ClickFunnels.
In this room alone, there's literally over 100 millionaires. And if that doesn't speak to why everyone should be here, I don't know what will. Russell gives you the education with his product.
He'll take complex things and he'll make them very easy to understand and, most important, implement.
He legitimately is here to help entrepreneurs create amazing lives.
I mean, he has the biggest heart.
But if you want to make money and you want to make a difference, this is the perfect event for you.
We are funnel hackers. Here to remind you one more time that your life you want, the marriage you want, and the family that you want is going to be fueled by the businesses that you build. You're only one funnel away.
When we're growing up, we learn a lot of things about life from life that are just not true.
6 days a week, 1 day off a week, 1 week off every 6 months.
And I wish I had someone to educate me that college was going to bring me food stamps.
Now I know some of you are feeling that indecision, that uncertainty. Well, today's the day that you change the world.
Start small by admitting that there's something that you want to do and you don't know how to do it.
Some of you are not willing to be bad at something long enough to get good at it.
After all the money invested, after all the time, after all the hope, I'm in the same place. But here's what's interesting, when you make a decision and when you become something else, it's much easier the next time.
Because we are crazy, agreed? That's what we do as entrepreneurs. We explore.
It is easy to assume that it's talent. I don't believe in talent. I believe in good habits.
If you know that your thing can truly help people, it's your duty to make sure as many people get it as possible.
It reminds them of their journey and where they're at and that they can keep moving forward. And they're counting on you.
And that's why we get up every morning and create a new reality, come back to the present and insist it becomes real.
You don't have to be me, but there is one game that you cannot lose in.
Like me, little old me, a stay-at-home mom, history major from college, didn't know anything about fitness.
1 year ago, I was sitting in your seat at the last Funnel Hacking Live.
And the lesson is like, this is your family and your new home.
It started with the people. You have to take that identity as a funnel hacker and you have to say,
Magnitude of the pain will equal the magnitude of the reward. It has to be that way.
My funnels work because I work.
I honestly believe the entrepreneurs are the only people that can actually change this planet. We're the ones that are crazy enough to go out there and try to change things.
Like a good funnel hacker, I said,
I can, I will, end of story. That's what we're here to do today.
I meant what I said about you up there. I don't say things lightly. I have such respect for you, Russell. And what I love that you're doing now is you're teaching them to be givers and seeing the value of that and getting hooked on that. You know, to me, that's the most important thing about it. So congratulations, man.
Every single time you have a funnel that makes over $1 million, we're going to send you one of these amazing trophies to put on your wall. We decided to call it a True Comma Club Award.
Beneath the gaze of the Nashville sun, life at Funnel Hacking Live begins to take form. A sight not to be missed. Here we can see the migration of nearly 5,000 funnel hackers descend upon an unsuspecting hotel. For a brief period of 4 days, this habitat will dramatically change. The funnelist hackiformis are a rare species, but ever growing by the thousands each passing day. Throughout the year, most of us do not see them, often questioning their existence if it weren't for their countless retargeting ads. They wake in the early morning hours and are usually found in a crowded gym, mentoring the curious young hacklings, rejoicing in the sun by the watering hole for a brief moment, and of course, recording more ads because the backdrop is just stunning. They congregate in what's known to scientists as a joint venture, the outfit of choice being matching t-shirts and undergarments, signifying the bond that ties this dispersed breed together. This is amplified by a greeting ritual of an endless myriad of high fives, hugs, acro yoga, and handshakes, from the field to the bush. In the early hours, they descend upon one single enclosure. As the doors swing open, the hackers spring into motion, flocking at 30 miles per hour in a race towards seat supremacy. Only the most spirited will lay claim to a coveted view. From there, they revel at the arrival of the alphas, who impart their wisdom from prior hunts. During this time, their feeding ritual is complex. Many subspecies survive on a diet of coffee and water, which often unintentionally creates a conflict of having to choose between absorbing knowledge and going to the bathroom. As the voyage comes to an end, they celebrate with a multitude of unpolished dance rituals. And whatever this is, a pleasing sensation. They have replenished their minds and spirits and are fit to return to the wild. FHL is a unique anthropological phenomenon, fit for the most peculiar of entrepreneurs. Those that have discovered that running a business without a funnel is just stupid.
Here's to the crazy ones.
My funnels work because I work.
Entrepreneurs are the only people that can actually change this planet. Every day we have a chance to wake up and figure out what we're going to create, what we're going to make, whose lives we're going to change, which is the most exciting thing in the world.
Does this feel like a family reunion or what? I'm gonna ask you to listen, maybe like you've never listened before.
You would be making millions and reaching millions if you knew.
That is how powerful this model is.
You guys have an unfair advantage by being a funnel hacker.
But here's the key, funnel hackers, listen up.
The more you understand behavioral psychology, the better marketers you'll be. When it comes to my funnel, when it comes to my business, what are the facts of my fruit? Just start. Your people will find you. As you find your voice, your people will find you. But you cannot find your voice until you start, until you begin, until you start moving forward.
Everything that you're learning here over the next couple days, just do it!
The energy at FHL is like nothing else you can imagine at a convention.
The crazy part that you'll find in any room when it comes to funnel hacking live.
It's everything you could hope for. There's heart, there's family, there's community.
And you see Russell's face everywhere you go.
The men and women on stage with 2 Comma Club awards, 10X awards.
People are dancing on stage when you come in.
You're getting high fives on the way in.
That's why Funnel Hacking Live exists.
It's like better than a nightclub.
There's a feeling to this room. The energy is so powerful.
There's 4,500 people here today that want to make a difference.
There's nothing like this audience.
People are running in.
They're excited.
And this is what funnel hacking does. Guys, you want to be here.
I went through probably 12 business tries, and they were all complete failures. I kept getting the questions from relatives, is this the one that you're gonna be successful with?
And I spent many years growing a few businesses and just struggling, feeling completely alone, isolated, my head down to the grindstone, hoping to figure out the way.
Finding ClickFunnels like a little boy finding a flashlight in the woods, lost at night. It's been a flashlight for us. It's brought us home.
Being in the same room with the software company and the teaching and the coaching that freed me from the bonds of debt, it was really, really emotional. It was intense.
I felt a little internal nudge.
I couldn't explain it. I knew if I got in the room at Funnel Hacking Live, things would change.
I didn't know what to expect. I was really excited to just see what this whole world is about.
I am a college student. The only reason I'm here is because I begged my parents to buy me the ticket for Christmas.
Getting here the first day thinking this is an internet marketing conference. It was thousands of people.
From the moment you walk in the door, there's heart, there's family, there's community. It is like walking into your own ecosystem.
And I see all these individuals from different walks of lives, and they're just like, how are you? What's your name? What do you do?
Even though we're all coming from different businesses doing different things, you've never met somebody, but you have this commonality.
So much personality, so much expression, and people tie their hair different colors and wearing crazy suits.
People are dancing on stage when you come in early in the morning.
So I have a marketing degree, and I have no idea what I learned in it.
We had no marketing skills, no business skills of any kind.
Yeah, I got my whole money's worth off the first speech of the first day.
And I called my dad and I said, no, like this was worth more than my entire 5 years I spent.
Somebody asked me yesterday, they said, who was your favorite speaker? And I said, in regards to what?
Being able to get around 6, 7, 8, 9-figure earners, you can't put a price on that.
Russell's not just someone who's passionate about sharing. What he's done has just revolutionized the industry. And he's just on a mission to allow people to go faster.
What's the new thing? How does it work? How do we integrate it? How do we deploy it? How do we explain it to people?
It's not a possibility anymore, it's a reality.
When they describe ClickFunnels as a family, it doesn't make sense till you have been here.
To be around people who are just as crazy and obsessed as me.
There's 4,500 people here today that want to make a difference.
It's mission and money, and you need them both.
That's what ClickFunnels really stands for. So the truth is amazing things happen when you're willing to do them.
You see possibilities that you never could have seen.
You can excel that business.
God, it's like, pinch me. Is this real? My life just changed.
It's just fun.
It's a phenomenon.
It's an oasis, man.
It feels like family. It feels like home.
I just feel blessed to be able to be a part of it.
And the gift of that, you know, that's everything.
If I had to predict where I would be 1 year from the day I signed up to join Russell's Mastermind, I could never have predicted the growth. It has been a life-changing experience.
Funnel Hacking Live is an event that is put on by Russell Brunson, where he shares with internet entrepreneurs exactly how to accelerate their success by using a software that he created called ClickFunnels to create websites that actually make sales in a very easy way for people who are looking to succeed online.
ClickFunnels came out of nowhere. They took the marketplace by storm, just like Apple did when they first launched the iPhone. It was not a linear move anymore. It was a quantum move in improvement that opened up a gap to allow people just like you and me who are not technically savvy. We weren't born in the matrix, and we didn't have a chip implanted in our heads. We're not engineers or computer science majors. An opportunity to cut and decrease the time of stress and anxiety and suffering behind a keyboard. Trust me.
You can talk bad about my mama, but you cannot talk bad about ClickFunnels, because what ClickFunnels has done for my business, I can't even begin to tell you.
Russell's just make it so simple for anybody to just instantly get it.
So authentic. One of the most genuinely nice individuals and human beings you will ever meet.
Breaks it down really easy.
He's just a risk taker. He's a mover and a shaker.
The first time I spoke with him, immediately I knew I was playing small. We took these guys to an exotic car racing place. What's better than getting in an exotic car? It's called dream racing, right? Like all it is a dream in some people's mind. Being able to go to the dream racing track, the exotic track, and get into a Lamborghini and get into an Aston Martin. And what it seeds is you tell it either it's going to be a dream or it's going to be a reality. And it's really up to you.
Russell was running a contest. It was going to give his Ferrari F430. All I did was tell the world about this awesome book and I got this Ferrari, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
That instills in you that necessity to really give to other people. I think we're over $25,000 right now for World Teacher Aid. Every single funnel that gets created, $1 gets donated to World Teacher Aid.
I think Russell was able to raise money for 2 schools, and that's huge.
They were all excited to be there and excited to be in that room.
Being an entrepreneur, I would say it's like the loneliest job in the world because it's kind of you and your thoughts, and you see other people and you kind of connect, but not like in a real way with them. I like bringing people together. It just gives you the ability to be around other people who are like you, who think like you, and who believe like you. And for me, every time I get around good entrepreneurs, like my vision gets bigger.
You literally sit next to people who are doing $1 million, other people who are just brand new. Everyone who's here, they want to share and they want to see everyone else succeed.
I come to a live event where Russell can guide me, where people next to me are smarter than me.
And they share information that's absolutely priceless.
I wanted real ClickFunnels members to come and to speak. This funnel type Russell talked about, this is what I did, how I did it, and how I'm making 100 grand a month, and all of a sudden it like becomes real.
You get to hear more stories and more action plans, more principles to business.
In the trenches, what's working now, information.
If you want results faster, here's a faster hack. Go this way.
Here's the concept, and then boom, here's it working for someone just like you, and that was my favorite part.
It will accelerate your success like nothing else out there.
There's just been so many tools out there. Very few have been aggregated to do everything you need to do to create success.
ClickFunnels is an amazing software that allows you to sell a product online quicker and faster than anything you've ever seen in your life.
It's just a simple way of making pages that convert. You know, I mean, they're like business-oriented templates that already start beautiful, but that you can very easily customize. It's seamless. It takes an hour or two, it takes 3 hours, and I have a whole funnel built. And then I just go.
You know, in one day, you can get that idea, you can be live.
You can take that idea out of your head and you can actually make it real.
Authors, speakers, high-end coaching. We do marketing products for real estate agents.
T-shirts.
Every kind of person is here, and that's awesome. Whenever we think about hacks, tips, and tricks, right, it's like the fast way to do it.
It's about taking best practices from people who have already proven what works.
Funnel hacking isn't about stealing, it's about modeling and creating your own spin on something that's already working.
I think entrepreneurship is being hacked here.
It's people who are doing stuff. Every single session that I've been in has pretty much been a standing ovation.
The caliber of speakers, Marcus Lemonis, Sean Stevenson, Russell has those people here at the event.
Russell Brunson, he genuinely wants to make a difference in the lives of many, 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 many people.
He gets more excited about the success of others than he does about his own success.
He really cares about the bigger picture in terms of where this is all going.
He's helping tens of thousands of people grow businesses.
The event is where you get clarity and courage, to get confidence, to do what I know I need to do.
I was from Christchurch, New Zealand. No one knew me, and now I have a global audience.
Literally been the impetus between my business not even being to it being at a multi-six-figure level in 6 months.
Couldn't have done that with the yellow pages.
I see opportunity. I see all of the open potential and horizons that are at my fingertips.
It's just way more than the platform itself.
You can fast track your way to success.
My name is John Zachariah.
My name is Bonnie Faye.
This is Deirdre White.
I use ClickFunnels.
I use ClickFunnels. My entire company uses ClickFunnels.
And it's my favorite platform there is.
It will transform your life.